Good morning. KSL News Time now is 5 o'clock. This is Utah's Morning News, and live from Paris, France this morning, the day of opening ceremonies for the 2024 games. I'm Tim Hughes.
And I'm Amanda Dixon. Our top story this hour is a developing one just hours before the Olympic opening ceremony. France's railway network has been hit by a series of what officials are calling arson attacks.
The head of France's rail network, SNCF, saying it was a coordinated attack. Fires were reported overnight at about 4 a.m. local, with France's high-speed rail lines seeming to be the intended target. Fires were set along 3 lines. A fourth fire on another line was stopped. Train traffic to Paris has been severely disrupted, with 800,000 passengers expected to be affected. The rail network saying it will take all weekend to repair. Inez Delaquatera, ABC News, Paris.
Tim, you're there in Paris. What's going on?
Well, it's information that is developing almost by the minute, but I can tell you as of 2 hours ago, Paris time, the head of the subsidiary branch of that high-speed railway has said that the network is expecting 250,000 travelers to be affected by the disruption today, 800,000 people over the weekend, and they're having to repair some cabling really one by one that signals safety information. It's conduits carrying a lot of fiber optic cables that relay safety information for drivers. So this was obviously a coordinated attack trying to disrupt not Paris itself, but transportation coming into Paris. I can tell you after wandering around and having to actually reroute my commute from my hotel to the media center today, that there is a heightened sense of security that probably would have been in place whether this had taken place today or not. But it appears, at least in the center of Paris, that things are going forward as normal.
Well, we'll continue to rely on you, Tim, to let us know what's happening there. Meanwhile, Canada's women's soccer team will go the rest of the Olympics without their head coach. This comes after reports of Canada using drones to spy on their opponents. KSL News Radio's Virl Johansson has more. Virl?
Amanda, the Canadian Olympic Committee and Canada Soccer have suspended head coach Bev Priestman. Now, the Canadian outlet TSN reports it's because of allegations that Canada's women's soccer team used drones to spy on opponents during the 2021 Tokyo Olympics, where Canada won the gold medal. Now, earlier this week, the team sent home an analyst and an assistant coach for reportedly flying a drone over 2 New Zealand practices, who was Canada's first opponent in the Paris Olympics. Now, Priestman voluntarily did not coach that match where Canada won 2-1 to try and show accountability while FIFA and the IOC investigated. Reporting live, Virl Johansson, KSL News Radio.
With the Olympic Games coming back to Utah, the question on what to do with existing venues remains. KSL TV's Mike Hedrick reports the facilities have been upkept with a new roof being installed at the Olympic Oval just 5 years ago.
Colin Hilton leads the Utah Olympic Legacy Foundation. His team manages the money left over from 2002 set aside to keep the games and its venues alive. So far, they have exceeded all expectations.
And we're 4 times busier today in use of these facilities than just after the O2 games.
Hilton says with the facilities already in place, his goal is to get the community excited and be sure these places will be used for many years after.
A road in Provo was renamed this week just in time for the announcement of the 2034 Olympic Games returning to Utah. The road formerly known as Seven Peaks Boulevard has been renamed Olympic Boulevard. The street sign is blue instead of the usual green and has Olympic rings on it.
Other national stories we're following this morning. The head of a cartel blamed for thousands of American deaths has been arrested in Texas.
76-year-old Ismael El Mayo Zampara, co-founder of the Sinaloa cartel, climbed aboard his twin turboprop plane Thursday to inspect a piece of property in Mexico. Also on board was Joaquin Guzman Lopez, the son of the cartel's infamous co-founder and former boss, El Chapo. The plane landed not in Mexico, but on the U.S. side of the border near El Paso. Federal agents were waiting and took Zampara and Guzman Lopez into custody. Jim Ryan, ABC News, Dallas.
First look traffic now on your Friday morning, and here's Andy Farnsworth.
Well, we've got some wet road conditions from the overnight rains, but as far as crashes go, the only thing we've got so far is northbound 15 near the Bluffdale exit as you come over Point of the Mountain. Otherwise, we're crash-free on the drive so far. I'm Andy Farnsworth in the KSL Traffic Center.
Former President Donald Trump will be in the Beehive State next month. KSL News Radio's Michael Commit is live with that story. Michael?
Tim, the former president will be stopping by on August 29th for a fundraiser up in Park City, led by Papa John's Pizza founder John Schnattner. Trump accepted the Republican nomination at last week's convention, and this will be his first visit to the Beehive State since 2017. He was planning on visiting Utah during June, but that fundraising trip was canceled after the first presidential debate happened on the same day. Any proceeds from the upcoming fundraiser will be going to Trump's election campaign. Reporting live, Michael Commit, KSL News Radio.
KSL at Night host and political consultant Taylor Morgan told Jeff Kaplan's Afternoon News the Biden-Harris campaign has visited Park City multiple times this election season as well.
It is literally an ATM machine for national candidates, a lot of wealthy and prominent donors.
The Trump campaign says he will not commit to any more debates until likely Democratic Party presidential nominee Kamala Harris is formally nominated.
Former President Barack Obama is officially endorsing Vice President Kamala Harris for president. NBC News reports that the pair have been in close contact since she announced her candidacy and that the two have discussed appearing together on the campaign trail at some point.
Utah Senator Mitt Romney is a co-sponsor of a bill that aims to protect children from the harms of social media. KSL News Radio's Andy Cupp explains.
The Kids Online Safety Act will provide kids and parents with tools, safeguards, and transparency.
It gives parents controls so they can also guide what their kids are seeing.
Romney says the ultimate goal of the act is to force social media companies to put the well-being of children above profits.
And it's basically saying we're going to hold the social media companies accountable for the content and the algorithms that are being put before kids.
The Senate will vote on the bill next week. It currently has broad bipartisan support. Andy Cupp, KSL News Radio.
Just updating our top story this morning of this rail attack, this coordinated attack here in France today. The IOC president, Thomas Bach, just spoke. He was over at the Olympic Athletes Village, and he says, I don't have concerns. We have full confidence in the French authorities and the security that they have put in place. And here we are, of course, just, 6.5 hours or so away from opening ceremonies here in the heart of Paris. We'll have continuing coverage for you throughout the morning here on KSL.
No crashes or delays to report. We'll check the morning commute, traffic, and weather together coming up next.
KSL in the palm of your hand.
When the app came out, I knew that I could stream the radio station directly through there.
I just checked there to see if there's anything pertinent.
I regularly use the KSL app.
Get the app for KSL News Radio.
When it comes to my lifestyle and diet, I don't always make the smartest choices.
Touchdown! Woo! Hey, how about another round and some more chips?
But when it comes to taking care of my liver, I do make one very smart real issues with my liver. And at my last checkup, my doc was concerned about my numbers. But since adding a once-a-day active liver tablet, my gut's better, I feel great, and my doctor's happy. I ask a lot of my liver, so the least I can do to say thanks is a daily dose of Active Liver.
You ask a lot of your liver, so give it the support it needs with Active Liver. You can find Active Liver at Amazon.com or ask for Active Liver at your local CVS. Or for a volume discount, visit NewNordicUSA.com. Go to new, NORDICUSA.com, Amazon, or ask for Active Liver at your local CVS.
Also, just getting word, Tim Hughes again in Paris, that the Euro airport had a bomb scare this morning, which is an important airport on the French-Swiss border. It was closed. All flights were grounded. It only lasted a short time. It seems they may have had a bomb threat, but it was cleared shortly thereafter, and they're saying that flights have been subjected to some delays, but no cancellations as of yet. You just have to know that when the Olympics are about to get underway, particularly in this part of the world, there are going to be the threat, anyway, of some disruptions, and we'll continue to report on what we know from this end coming up. Right now, let's see what's happening on the roads there along the Wasatch Front. Traffic and weather together. At 5:09 is brought to you by Sinclair's Dino Pay app. Save up to 20 cents a gallon. Andy, you got a little rain last night. So did we here in Paris.
Oh, wow. I didn't realize we were so connected.
Temperatures are close, too.
All right. Well, this morning, you might see some wet conditions, especially on the west side of the valley, although at this point that hasn't created any extra traffic slowdowns. It's a Friday morning, so don't expect it to be too busy. I-15 rolling from Draper to downtown right now. Not seeing any slow spots or on I-80 through or 201 through the Salt Lake Valley. Len?
coming out of the Weber and Davis County area with no delays. Looking very nice through Riverdale and Roy on past the Air Force Base, Layton, Kaysville on into the downtown Salt Lake City area in a minimum time there. And looking good on SR 193 past the Air Force Base. No delays at the south entrance just yet. Jason?
And it's looking really good down south as well. No problems in Utah County. If you're traveling north or southbound on I-15, you're going to roll right along from Payson all the way up to the point of the mountain. Major feeders over to I-15 also looking good at this point. Thinking of a kitchen remodel, Durden's matches every competitor's price, and you get rebates on single appliances or whole kitchen appliance packages. Durden's also offers next-day delivery on 5th South and Bountiful, or DurdensAppliance.com. I'm Jason Jones in the KSL Traffic Center.
It's a great late July day with highs in the mid-90s and a slight chance for some isolated storms in the evening. 70 overnight, partly cloudy, maybe a slight chance for a shower. Partly cloudy on Saturday, 94 the high. From the KSL Weather Center, I'm Matt Johnson.
I don't have my temperature pulled up here yet, Amanda. What's it like there right now?
Oh, it's really comfortable, 72 degrees. Coming up in just a moment, we'll talk with our colleague Inez de la Cotera, who is there where you are in Paris, about the opening ceremonies, which are, as you mentioned, just about 6+ hours away. That's coming up next on KSL.
Stay with us, streaming live at KSLNewsRadio.com and on the app for KSL News Radio, Utah's news, traffic, and weather station.
High five! Up top! Heck yeah!
Dave's company just got the first ever 5-year price lock guarantee from Comcast Business.
Yeah, 5 years!
It's 5 years of gig speed internet.
High five for gig speed.
5 years of advanced security.
Security win.
And 5 years of a great rate that won't change.
Our rate ain't changing.
All from the company with 99.9% network reliability.
There it is.
He hasn't given this many high fives since Deborah brought in her famous banana bread.
Woohoo!
Now he's got savings.
I'm so excited.
Yep. Dave's feeling it, but it's only for a limited time, so don't wait. Switch today and ask how to get the first ever 5-year price lock guarantee from Comcast Business. Powering 5 years of savings, powering possibilities. Comcast Business.
And it's hurting, but I am not stopping.
Woo! Ends 8/21/24. Guaranteed rate applies to monthly service charge for new customers on qualifying internet bundle, excluding taxes and fees. Other restrictions apply.
Good morning. I'm the 25% off window company.
25% off?
It's our biggest discount ever.
So what happened to the 40% off you were offering a couple months ago?
Well,
nothing. It's baloney. Hi, this is Kathy.
The Dog of Window World. When you hear those things, you know you've entered the baloney zone.
Resist the force of the baloney zone.
Call today.
281-8111.
Window World. Simply the best for less. And that's no baloney.
Make the most of your summer plans with triple rewards from Cyprus Credit Union. This July and August, use your Cyprus Rewards Visa card to earn triple points for every $1 you spend on gas and travel. That's triple the points for hotels, flights, at the gas pump, and more. This offer lasts from now through August only, so make the most of your Cyprus Rewards Visa or apply today at cypruscu.com.
Cyprus Credit Union. Your future is our future.
Equal Opportunity Lender.
Inside Sources with Boyd Matheson. Our goal every day on Inside Sources is to help you divide the rage from the reason, elevate the conversation, connect the dots, and make the news make sense in your world. We have conversations with great thinkers, with great leaders, and great people who are just out there making a difference in the world. Now, we do talk about politics, but only so we can discuss society and culture. And then we explore society and culture so we can discuss principles and the people in America and the state of Utah who actually live them and apply them every day. We bring the best and brightest minds to the state of Utah, and we love to take the Utah model and send it out to our nation's capital and beyond. Every day on Inside Sources, you'll be part of that conversation. To help you understand things in a different way, we'll get you to think again about what you think you know, but most important, we're going to help you have confidence to have crucial conversations in your community and in your own home.
Join Inside Sources with Boyd Matheson, 1 to 3 on KSL News Radio.
KSL News Time, 5:15. The 3 things you need to know this hour. First,
French police say a series of coordinated arson attacks have disrupted service on 3 train lines, affecting at least 800,000 travelers. This is all just hours before the Olympic opening ceremony. I'm KSL News Radio's Alexandria Bonilla.
Second, former President Donald Trump will be in Utah next month for a fundraising event. It'll be the first time the former president will be in the state since 2017.
Third, it's traffic and weather together.
I-15, so far, so good. Whether you're starting out in Ogden, starting out in Salt Lake County, or down in Utah County. City streets, you might see a little bit of traffic, but not on the freeways right now. I'm Andy Farnsworth in the KSL Traffic Center.
Temperatures up near 95 again today with a slight chance for pop-up storms. I'm Matt Johnson.
And right now, 72 degrees at the KSL Common Spirit Health Studios.
Let's check our top national stories from ABC News.
From ABC News, I'm Sherry Preston. France taking center stage today for the opening ceremony of the Olympic Games in Paris. But hours before it is set to begin, the country's railway network has been disrupted. ABC's Inez de la Cuetara is in Paris with more.
The head of France's rail network, SNCF, saying it was a coordinated attack. Fires were reported overnight at about 4 a.m. local, with France's high-speed rail lines seeming to be the intended target. Fires were set along 3 lines. A 4th fire on another line was stopped. Train traffic to Paris has been severely disrupted, with 800,000 passengers expected to be affected. The rail network saying it will take all weekend to repair. Inez de la Cuetara, ABC News. Paris.
Boats along the Seine, acrobats on rooftops. Those are just a few of the things we could see during today's much-anticipated opening ceremony in Paris. Details have been highly secretive. U.S. officials arresting some key players in one of the most powerful drug cartels in Mexico after what appears to have been an intricate trap.
76-year-old Ismael El Mayo Zampara, co-founder of the Sinaloa cartel, climbed aboard his twin turboprop plane Thursday to inspect a piece of property in Mexico. Also on board was Joaquin Guzman Lopez, the son of the cartel's infamous co-founder and former boss, El Chapo. The plane landed not in Mexico, but on the U.S. side of the border near El Paso. Federal agents were waiting and took Zampara and Guzman Lopez into custody. Jim Ryan, ABC News, Dallas.
Vice President Kamala Harris has gotten the endorsement of former President Obama and First Lady Michelle Obama.
Kamala.
Hello. Hi.
Hey there.
Oh, hi, you're both together. Oh, it's good to hear you both.
That's how it came. The Obamas calling Harris, the Harris team recording the call and releasing video of it today. Kamala Harris met with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu separately from President Biden yesterday. Today, the Israeli Prime Minister flies to Mar-a-Lago to meet with former President Donald Trump. You're listening to ABC News.
You could hear the bells from the Sacré-Cœur throughout Paris this morning, just ahead of the opening ceremony of the 2024 Summer Games.
That ceremony is being billed as the most sprawling and elaborate Olympic opening ever. ABC's Inez de la Cuetara, who we just heard from a minute ago. ABC, and as you were reporting on the arsons overnight, does that have anything to do with this Russian national who was arrested?
Yeah, I mean, so far, no connection between those two events. But yeah, I mean, the big story on the security front here at the Olympics is this massive arson attack on the railway system. So, the French rail company, SNCF, saying there were a number of fires set on different railway stations around the country. Officials say that those attacks were meant to damage installations, to destabilize the Olympics. High-speed rail lines do seem to be the target. The Eurostar train from London was affected. And so that is, likely going to have a big impact on the number of tourists hoping to make it to Paris in time for the Olympics. That other event you mentioned, so yeah, that was an arrest that was made earlier this week. They arrested a Russian man who was also believed to be trying to destabilize the Olympics. It's unclear just what he was planning, but France has certainly been on high alert with the games, considering everything that's going on around the world. Lots of concerns that there could be bad actors trying to take advantage of the situation. So they've deployed, tons of police officers on the streets just for the opening ceremony. There's going to be over 45,000 police officers, an additional 18,000 members of the military, and you can't, really go anywhere without stumbling upon some kind of checkpoint or law enforcement presence. So they're very concerned about that, especially with the opening ceremony happening this evening.
I just posted on my social media, Nez, because I'm here with you in Paris, some of what I saw on my commute in, and many of the metro lines, well, a few of them, are completely shut down. Others, it's just some of the metro stations, like getting close to Hotel de Ville, you have to get out at the prior stop and then walk your way in. So they are taking extra measures today.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, today's going to be, I think, the worst day when it comes to all those disruptions. That perimeter set up around the venues and the Sen, which is where the opening ceremony is going to be held, really tightly controlled. And if you don't have that QR code, you can't get anywhere. And I think, that's a big part of the reason so many Parisians decided to leave town. There were lots of concerns that there would be traffic disruptions, that it would be very hard to get around. So, a lot of people have left, but I think the people who've stayed, I'm sure you've seen it, being here, the people who've stayed are very excited. And you've got all these people from out of town, from around the world who are here for the games, for the opening ceremony. Lots and lots of excitement, and you can feel it on the streets.
Do you happen to know, Inez, if you have just one more second, do you know where will they stage the different performances that are part of an opening ceremonies? Will those be on boats going down the river too?
Yeah, so we don't know much about what exactly is going to happen, but we do know it's going to be 94 boats with 7,000 Olympic athletes on those boats sailing down the Seine, roughly 3.7 miles. It's expected to last about 4 hours, and there will be all sorts of performances, both, on the boats, on the Seine, and then on the banks of the river as well, on the bridges. I was walking around last night and saw some of the rehearsals. So there were, dancing along the banks of the river. There were acrobats on a bridge, kind of suspended by some weird pole things. And so, I mean, it's going to be really spectacular.
Wow.
It is going to be spectacular, Inez. Thank you for that. I would encourage, Amanda, they were giving the lighting that they're going to use on the Iron Lady, as they call her, the Eiffel Tower. They were giving them a test drive last night, and Alex Cabrera happened to be out getting ready for one of his night shots for Channel 5, and he shot a great video of it. So if you want to get a little preview of what it's going to look like, and get this, I also learned, and we'll talk more about what I've learned about opening ceremonies later this morning, but the national anthem, France's national anthem, is going to be sung on the roof of the Grand Palais.
Oh, wow.
Along the Seine River.
I can't wait. I know it gets started around, 11:30 in the morning, or a replay at 7:30 tonight, our time. So I can't wait.
All right, that is the In-Depth at 15:45.
Let's get another look at traffic and weather together, brought to you by Sinclair's Dino Pay app. Save up to 20 cents per gallon, Andy.
Amanda, so far, so good. If you're traveling through Salt Lake County on the freeways, I-15, 215 looping on either side. Got some southbound slowing a little bit on Foothill right now, coming down towards 21st South just before you get to 215 and I-80. And State, a little bit busy in some roadwork spots in Murray going south towards 45 and 5300 South. Len?
Well, at least in the cameras and the reports I have here, looking pretty dry in Davis and Weber counties. Very nice, actually, very dry. Looking at West Hillfield Road as you make your way up there toward the south entrance to the Air Force Base, and that's looking pretty good. Few cars there. Otherwise, I-15 sailing along in good shape all the way down to the Salt Lake Valley. You got a little bit of slowing on Redwood Road just to where it comes off the north end of the I-215 there. We'll check that out, see if we can find out what that is. Jason?
And good speeds remain on I-15 through Utah County. Also major feeders over to I-15, no trouble there. Headed up into Provo Canyon, you're going to be clear in both directions right now on the 189, and no problems in Parley's Canyon either. If you're headed up to Park City this morning, don't even see any slow-moving semis at this point. Jordan Valley Water tells us water use is up about 10% compared to last year. If you want to use less water and keep your lawn looking healthy, water deeper, less frequently, and at night. I'm Jason Jones in the KSL Traffic Center.
KSL 7-day forecast looking at a high of 95 today. Plenty of sunshine for the first half. Then we'll see some clouds and maybe a 30% chance for a storm by evening. 94 partly cloudy on Saturday. 93 on Sunday. We pop back up to 97 blue skies on Monday. High pressure's in control for most of next week. Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, all in the upper 90s and near 100. From the KSL Weather Center, I'm Matt Johnson.
And in Salt Lake City this hour, it is 72 degrees in your 7-day forecast, brought to you by Performance Automotive Bountiful.
Well, the NASDAQ is still suffering, but the Dow bounced back pretty good yesterday. We'll take a look at money news just ahead on KSL News Radio.
When you want a brand new kitchen, there's nothing to it. There's a brand new way to do it. 3-day kitchen and bath.
It's about time someone offered you a complete custom kitchen and bath, remodeled, designed, and built to your specifications and style in just 3 days. It's about time someone offered you a written, unconditional 100% satisfaction guarantee on both their quality and craftsmanship. It's about time someone gave you free professional design and decorating assistance to create your perfect kitchen or bath. And when you remodel your kitchen, you'll save $500 off a complete custom bathroom. Call 3-Day Kitchen and Bath today for your free copy of the Home Remodeling Guide, plus $500 off a complete bathroom remodel and a free design consultation.
It's about time.
3 days or less
at 3-Day Kitchen and Bath.
Getting help with plumbing repairs is easier than you think. All you have to do is call Any Hour Services or schedule an appointment at anyhourservices.com. No one helps more homeowners than Any Hour Services.
This is the story of the one. As head of maintenance at a concert hall, he knows the show must always go on. That's why he works behind the scenes, ensuring every light is working, the HVAC is humming, and his facility shines. With Grainger's supplies and solutions for every challenge he faces, plus 24/7 customer support, his venue never misses a beat. Call quickgrainger.com or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Ugh, I've been feeling so sluggish. I'm just kind of blah. Been there. That's why I take Align yogurt-coated probiotic fruit bites. But I suppose they taste blah? Actually, they taste delicious. It's an apple blueberry flavored center covered in a yogurt coating and is infused with probiotics to help support a healthy gut. They come 5 in a pouch. I just toss one in my bag and go. Toss one in my bag? Get your own.
New Align yogurt-coated probiotic fruit bites from the makers of the #1 doctor-recommended probiotic brand. Find them in the digestive care aisle.
Watching Utah's Money, brought to you by Trajan Wealth, your trusted local fiduciary advisors, TrajanWealth.com. A proposed merger between the parent company of Smiths and Albertsons is on hold. A Colorado judge issued an injunction ahead of a September trial. Several states have challenged the move, worrying it'll drive up prices. In a statement, Kroger says it would do the opposite.
Utah gas prices finally going in the other direction after a month of steady increases. AAA reports our average price for a gallon of regular unleaded is $3.57. That's down about half a cent from from yesterday. I'll try and save that half a cent. Diesel going down about a penny.
CrowdStrike, the company behind last week's massive Microsoft outage, is offering a kind of apology to vendors like Delta, who are still recovering from what happened. The apology is a $10 Uber Eats voucher. Seriously? Uber Eats voucher. And it's not for customers. It's for the companies affected. So what, does the CEO get a $10 Uber Eats voucher?
Both of us are asking for more here.
Yeah.
Please, hey, but give us some more. By the way, one Eurostar note here. Since I'm sitting in Paris, they just announced that they're going to cancel 1 in 4 of their services today. That's a fresh update. Because of those fires, they're going to have to replace cabling systems that handle security for the drivers of those trains. We'll keep an eye on that. Market's doing pretty good this morning to start the day. The futures of the Dow up 250. The S&P is up 40. The NASDAQ on the plus side by 185.
It's quiet on your morning commute. We'll take a look at it next on KSL News Radio. So it's less than a month now until school is back in session. And I know that when school is in session, that can be a real blessing for parents who are struggling financially, because at least their kids will get a breakfast and lunch every day, every weekday at school. But during these summer months, the Utah Food Bank, I was just talking to him with Jeanette Bott yesterday from the Utah Food Bank, and they really are trying to do as much as they can in these remaining weeks to make sure that Utah families have enough food to feed everyone until school gets back in session. So there is a summer business food and fun drive, and our friends at Les Olson are part of that.
Yeah, and I think that needs to be said several times, that Les Olson has always been such a great community partner, but they wanted us on Fridays each week to be able to help share this message, because they have been in the business of helping business here in Utah for so many years, and they care about the families and the people that work for them and the clients and all the rest, that they have decided this is their way of giving back to the community. So if you can, please help.
Yes, I mean, they even shared with us that 1 in 10 Utah kids is unsure where their next meal is coming from. So know that anything you can donate is really beneficial. You can drop off food to any Les Olson location if you want to, or make a financial donation. And you can also go online to utahfoodbank.org/summer.
That's utahfoodbank.org/summer.
Now that Utah has scored the 2034 games,
we're back, baby. The Olympics are coming back to Utah. Thank you.
Congratulations. The Paris Olympics seem a little closer to home.
Dozens of Olympic athletes have ties to Utah.
Get full coverage on the 33rd Summer Olympiad, mornings and afternoons. Paris 2024 on KSL News Radio.
Join KSL News Radio's Maria Chaleo Saturday from 8 to 11 at the Jones Paint and Glass grand opening of their new location, 1626 West, 800 South in Payson.
Let's get that look at traffic and weather together. Brought to you by Sinclair's Dino Pay app. Save up to 20 cents a gallon. Andy?
And right now, Tim, through Salt Lake County, you're going to see heavier traffic on State Street to some of the roadwork zones around 90th, 104th, and 106th, pardon me, and 7200 South up in Midvale than you will on any of the freeways through the valley. That little bit of slowing we were seeing on Foothill going south seems to have cleared out. Len?
We're looking at a little bit of traffic as you come off of I-15 into the North Salt Lake City area and into the downtown area. Up toward the Capitol on Beck Street, just a few cars going up there slowly up the hill. And a little busy downtown already, but as far as on the freeways coming in from Davis and Weber counties, no delays right now. I-15 all the way into the city, and then you're good on the north end of the I-215 belt route, and the Redwood Road slowing has evaporated. Jason?
And it looks like we've got light volume on your roads down in Utah County. Pioneer Crossing, SR 92, 2100 North, Main Street, Lehigh. All of those are looking fantastic this morning as you head over towards I-15, which is also holding strong at regular speeds. Choose a gorgeous new kitchen countertop for your kitchen or bath at the Bedrock Quartz Stone Sale with selected choices up to 50% off in July. Visit one of 7 showrooms today or bedrockquartz.com. I'm Jason Jones in the KSL Traffic Center.
Today, we'll see a high of 95 with a chance of showers continuing. Right now, 72 downtown.
You're listening to Utah's Morning News with Tim Hughes and Amanda Dixon
on KSL News Radio.
102.7 FM and 1160 AM.
Good morning, KSL News Time now, 5:30.
KSL's top story this hour.
Search and rescue crews have been searching overnight for a swimmer last seen in the Grantsville Reservoir.
KSL News Radio's Michael Commit is live with more. Michael?
Amanda, this happened after high winds took 2 swimmers far into the reservoir. One of them was able to make it back to shore before calling 911. John Smith, a spokesman for the North Tooele Fire District, says that call was made just after 9:30 at night.
Unfortunately, we have no sign of him at this point. It's been about 2.5 hours since we had that last contact. So unfortunately, this is now being called a recovery effort.
Those same winds and darkness are making the recovery even more difficult, but search and rescue is also joined by multiple fire and police departments. Reporting live, Michael Commit, KSL News Radio.
Drought conditions are back in Utah for the first time in almost a month. KSL News Radio's Verl Johansson has more. Verl?
Tim, the U.S. Drought Monitor reports that around 5% of the state is in moderate drought conditions, all of which is in Tooele County. Now, close to 55% of the state is in abnormally dry conditions, which is just below that drought level. We saw some rain last night and earlier this morning in some parts of the states, and KSL meteorologist Matt Johnson says there's a slight chance of scattered showers across the state later this afternoon and evening. Live, Verl Johansson, KSL News Radio.
A dumpster fire in Lehigh shocked a nearby family. KSL TV's Daniel Woodruff spoke with Amanda Clark, who showed the video to him of the moment curiosity turned into terror.
It looked innocent enough until it wasn't.
Oh my gosh, it was insane.
Clark said she had been celebrating with family when people she didn't know pulled into the neighborhood and threw boxes of fireworks into the dumpster. No one was hurt and no homes damaged, but the video is a lesson in caution. Last night was the last night fireworks were legal this season.
Fires are still popping up all over the state. Lightning sparked a fire about 1 mile north of geothermal plant in Beaver County. Fire authorities believe it's burned around 50 acres so far. There's a 100-acre fire burning just northwest of the Great Salt Lake, and at this time it doesn't appear to be threatening any buildings or infrastructure. Experts say wildfires in the west are growing about 5 times faster than in years past.
KSL's top national stories this hour. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu will attend more high-stakes meetings today in Washington, D.C. More from ABC's Christiane Cordero.
Likely Democratic presidential nominee Vice President Kamala Harris meeting with Israel's prime minister and reaffirming her support for Israel and push for a ceasefire in the war in Gaza.
I also expressed with the prime minister my serious concern about the scale of human suffering in Gaza including the death of far too many innocent civilians.
The vice president called for the end of the war.
It is time for this war to end, and end in a way where Israel is secure, all the hostages are released, the suffering of Palestinians in Gaza ends.
The prime minister also met with President Biden, praising him for a half-century of friendship to Israel.
Fresh off his visit to Washington, D.C., Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu is headed to Mar-a-Lago. He's set to visit former President Donald Trump for the first time since the 2020 election. They've reportedly not spoken since Netanyahu congratulated President Biden on his win in that race. Florida officials are preparing for possible protest with tight security around the meeting.
First look traffic now, and back over to you, Andy.
Amanda, so far no crashes to report, no slowdowns on our freeways on this Friday morning in the early stages. Roads are drying out on the west side of the valley from the overnight rains, but Bangor are a little bit heavy in the construction in Taylorsville. I'm Andy Farnsworth in the KSL Traffic Center.
The Provo City Council is hearing from some of the estimated 200 to 300 homeless people who are unhappy with the ban on camping in the city. Elise Bauer grew up in and around or in and out of homelessness. She says the ban on sleeping in public and risking arrest of citations is unfair.
And the way that we treat them, of telling them to leave our city, telling them that they can't car camp, I think something needs to be done. I feel like we should open some cooling shelters and warming shelters if we can't open a shelter.
Bauer is now in college and working on a degree in pre-med. Advocates say there isn't enough assistance to go around. Meanwhile, the city council did not take any action on the requests presented in the public comments.
A new donut shop is helping unhoused Utahns with every donut sold. KSL News Radio's Josue Sanchez has more.
The new shop, Other Side Donuts, has fun, colorfully decorated donuts, all made by formerly unhoused Utahns. General Manager Nicholas Smith says this is just one of the social enterprises from the Other Side Village. He says the team of bakers were formerly unhoused no more than a year ago and are students for the Other Side Live-In Prep School. Smith says they bake over 1,000 donuts a day and all proceeds go back into the Other Side Village.
Smith says when the people on his team graduate the Other Side program, he can hire them to work as employees in the shop.
Catholic Community Services helps kids go back to school by giving them backpacks and school supplies, but this year they only have 50% of what they need. Basic Needs Director Randy Chappelle expects 600 kids to show up to Joyce Hanson Hall Food Bank next Saturday.
Most years we feel like we're in a spot where we have enough. This year's a little different.
Chappelle says monetary donations aren't going as far as they used to, and more children are in need because of rising costs.
Discounts on University of Utah student meal plans used to only be available to students on campus. Once Sean Grube, Vice President of Housing and Residential Education, heard about that rule, his team wanted to change it.
It was really important that we make that option available to everyone. A lot of work with both our housing information system as well as campus to expand that option, and now all students can purchase a meal plan.
Students, regardless of where they live, can sign up on the Housing U portal.
I-15, normal pace throughout the Wasatch Front. I-80 into Parley's Canyon also without problems this hour. We'll check traffic and weather together next.
Spend your workday with a talk show that makes you feel better about the news.
Debbie is the voice of reason, and Dave reminds me of my little brother. Well-spoken, and they're a great team together.
Dave and Debbie, live from 9 to noon, or podcast the show on the app for KSL News Radio.
At Common Spirit Health, we don't just see a cancer diagnosis. We see you, and you don't have to do this alone. We believe you should be surrounded by your people, so you can keep them close while you get care close to home. Supported by our care team from diagnosis to treatment and beyond, and strengthened by treatment tailored to you. Because there's no one-size-fits-all approach to cancer care. Find cancer care with human kindness close to you at mountain.commonspirit.org.
This morning we're keeping an eye on several fires that have popped up around the state, and also following what's happening here in Paris and surrounding areas outside of Paris, but within France, of some rail systems that have had some problems this morning because of fires. We'll tell you more about that just ahead.
5:39 now. Traffic and weather together brought to you by Sinclair's Dino Pay app. Save up to 20 cents per gallon. Andy?
Amanda, Traffic looks good on I-15 so far from Draper to downtown, a 20-minute travel time. Redwood just a little bit busy as you go from West Jordan into Taylorsville at the moment, and Bangerter might slow you a tiny bit northbound at 4100 South, that first intersection as you come through Taylorsville into West Valley. Len?
Well, it looks like we have a medical situation. It's westbound I-80 just before the SR 201 turnoff on the right shoulder near Tooele County to keep an eye out for. Otherwise, I-15 is looking good through Weber and Davis County all the way into the downtown area. A little spot of slowing as you make your way up Beck Street toward the Capitol. Jason?
9 minutes of travel time. That's what should take you right now. Northbound I-15 from Provo up to Lehigh. That means we have no accidents or delays anywhere. Likewise, all the way up to the point of the mountain, you're going to be running along at regular speed there. No problems on your major feeders. And up into the canyons, it's also looking really great with light volume at this point. Get your lawn off to a good start with Revive Organic Soil Treatment. Greener grass using less water, spread or spray. Revive Organic Soil Treatment available at your favorite garden center or revive.com. I'm Jason Jones in the KSL Traffic Center.
Right around the normal high for the day. We're going to hit 95 today with a slight chance for pop-up storms in the evening. 70 overnight, light showers possible. 94 on Saturday, partly cloudy and dry generally, but a slight chance for showers exists. Sunday, sunny skies and cooler, 93. From the KSL Weather Center, I'm Matt Johnson.
In Salt Lake City to start the morning, mostly cloudy, 72 degrees.
You know how some days so much happens in a day that you think that day felt like a week? Well, some weeks so much happens that the week feels like a month, and that has been the case, at least politically, for sure, with the Olympics going on. We'll talk more about a week in politics coming up in a moment on KSL.
Stay right there. That is next here. You can always find us streaming live at KSLNewsRadio.com and on the app for KSL News Radio, Utah's news, traffic, and weather station.
Did you know 96% of Americans lose an average of $111,000 in Social Security income? And it's because they claim their benefits at the wrong time. Don't lose $111,000 in Social Security income that's rightfully yours. Learn how you could wring every nickel out of your benefits on Retirement Solutions Radio this Saturday afternoon at 3 o'clock, right here on KSL, News Radio 102.7.
Trail mix, beef jerky, mixing all the soda flavors at the gas station soda machine. Snacks are better on the road. The gas is better when it's top tier. And the pit stop is better when there's a dinosaur there. Love the filler moments at a Sinclair gas station near you with DinoCare, our top-tier gasoline. Some sweet and salty snacks for the commute, and a big green dino for the memories. Find a gas station near you at sinclairoil.com. Sinclair, fill up your life.
Most of us like to be out in the sun. That's why sunscreen and other safety measures are key to protecting your skin from aging and cancer. The FDA recommends using a sunscreen with an SPF of 15 or higher. Also, look for broad spectrum on the label. That means both harmful ultraviolet A and B rays are blocked. Remember, SPF plus broad spectrum equal healthy fun in the sun. Visit www.fda.gov/sunscreen for more information. A message from the U.S. Food and Drug Administration.
Dave and Debbie.
It's impossible to digest and consume all of the news that's now coming at us through either social media or through web pages or through the radio. Pick what is most impactful in your life and focus on that. And that's what Dave and I do every single morning. We pick those issues that are most important to our listeners and we boil it down so it's digestible. It's simple to understand.
I think we're trying to find the essence of the story. You know, you can't be an expert on all things, but that doesn't mean you can't be curious and really find out more and educate yourself and learn the complexities of an issue. But I think all of us start at ground zero on everything. Ask questions, show that curiosity.
And then if you need more research, you can always go to KSLNewsRadio.com and learn more.
Listen for Dave and Dejanovic 9 to noon on KSL News Radio. Visit the contest page on KSLNewsRadio.com. This week, win tickets to the Deer Valley Music Festival as the Utah Symphony performs Tchaikovsky's 1812 Overture on Friday, July 26th. We'll even throw in a $50 Deer Valley gift card. Or win tickets to Lagoon. Lagoon, it's what fun is. What are you waiting for? Text the word contest to 57500 or go to KSLNewsRadio.com/contest.
KSL News Time, 5:45. The three things you need to know this hour. First,
search and rescue teams are doing a recovery mission on the Grantsville Reservoir after a swimmer was lost overnight. I'm KSL News Radio's Michael Kimmett.
Second, Soapstone Campground near Camas is closed for the weekend due to bear activity. Officials say the area has been evacuated and will take the closure day by day until the bear sightings go down.
Third, let's check the drive with traffic and weather together.
And right now, we had a medical situation on westbound I-80 just before SR 201 as you head towards Tooele County, but it looks like they've got that taken care of. I don't see the flashing lights anymore, so should be a good drive into and out of Tooele on I-80. I'm Andy Farnsworth in the KSL Traffic Center.
Lots of sunshine today with isolated storms possible in the evening. I'm Matt Johnson.
Right now, 72 degrees at the KSL Common Spirit Health Studios.
Time to check in with ABC News.
ABC News, I'm Sherry Preston. Sabotage and arson hitting key parts of France's high-speed rail network ahead of the opening ceremony of the Olympics in Paris. Vandals strategically striking the main rail routes from the north, east, and west toward the capital city. Wildfires in the west of this country growing. ABC's Kenna Whitworth is in Northern California.
The aggressive park fire burning over 145,000 acres. Homes engulfed in flames, gas tanks exploding, creating pillars of fire higher than the tree line.
The park fire near Chico, the largest wildfire so far this year in California. A couple of key players in Mexico's biggest drug cartel has been arrested in custody. 76-year-old Sinaloa cartel co-founder Ismael El Mayo Zambada, as well as the son of a drug lord Joaquin El Chapo Guzman. Vice President Kamala Harris has gotten the endorsement of Barack and Michelle Obama, the former first couple, calling her to tell her the news on Thursday. This is ABC News.
Your voice, your vote, 2024. Special coverage on KSL News Radio.
Yeah, I think we're all suffering from a little political whiplash this past week in politics. You're not alone.
Has it really been less than a week since the president decided he's not running for re-election? And that's just one of many big headlines. Joining us live is ABC's Will Staken. Will, we just heard on the ABC report there that the former president, Barack Obama, and Michelle Obama have endorsed Kamala Harris, but I thought they were going to wait for the process to play out.
Well, I guess the process has effectively played out. I think every serious contender has already endorsed Kamala Harris. She's effectively gotten enough of support to clinch the nomination. And so they clearly wanted to roll this out, heading into the weekend to maybe further kind of bump this excitement that seems to be happening on Democrats after having a candidate that maybe didn't really give them that much excitement for so long.
A lot of people are wondering, Will, and I know it's kind of like crystal ball stuff, but what do you think the odds are that Trump and Harris will actually debate once or maybe several times between now and November?
Yeah, I mean, it is a crystal ball thing, but I think, they have at least both said they want to debate. Kamala Harris, I think, came out yesterday and said that she wants to debate. She's agreeing to the debate. The former president has also said he plans to debate. I think we're just going to have to figure out and see kind of where things go. But yeah, we'll have to see what happens.
What do you think about Netanyahu's visit with Biden and Harris separately and now on to Mar-a-Lago to meet with Trump?
Yeah, I think it's interesting. I think it's interesting that Vice President Harris didn't meet with him at when he visited Congress, when Netanyahu visited Congress. It had a one-on-one meeting. Clearly, I think that's positioning herself as she's now, potentially going to be or it seems to be the nominee for the Democratic ticket. It gives her a look at that the foreign policy credibility moving forward. So I think that's part of what you're seeing play out, and we'll have to see how that now he heads down to Mar-a-Lago to meet with the former president. I'm sure that'll be a show to see, and so we'll have to see how that looks.
Social media has been interesting to watch this week. Attacks on one side going after J.D. Vance. On the other side, it's pretty clear that the Harris team has a social media plan here that really took off like a rocket.
Yeah, I think, I think in terms of the Democratic support, I think what you're seeing, is a lot of the maybe younger voters, online voters, on Democratic voters, they maybe had been hungry for a candidate that they could really get behind. You can tell, there was polling out there that showed that Biden's support among the youth vote was actually pretty low compared to previous Democratic candidates, and that Trump was actually doing fairly well in that realm. And so I think now that Biden has stepped aside, I think someone like Kamala Harris is really invigorating that group. You'll still have to see if that group comes out and votes and actually makes a huge impact. That's always a question. And yeah, I mean, J.D. Vance, this is what happens, right? He's picked as the vice president. He's an interesting pick because he's had been somewhat well known, but I think had been flying under the radar since being elected to Senate. And now all these kind of past comments now have new light as he's now running with Donald Trump.
Boy, it's going to be interesting, and it has been already. Thank you, Will. That's ABC's Will Staken with us on the In-Depth at 15 and 45.
All right, let's get a look at the drive, traffic, and weather together. Again, brought to you by Sinclair's Dino Pay app. Save up to 20 cents a gallon. Back to Andy Farnsworth.
Well, so far, Tim, it looks great on I-15 in Salt Lake County, less than a 20-minute travel time through the valley. Road work slowing you on State Street right now, going up from 1700 south towards 1300 south, and we've got some busy traffic along 400 south crossing downtown over by West Temple and heading in the direction of I-15. Len?
Good tempos this morning on the freeways in Weber and Davis counties, coming in from far west and Merritt Slaterville on through the Ogden area and into the downtown Salt Lake City area in a very nice drive time. Highway 89 is looking good as you make your way from Farmington to South Weber, either direction. A little bit of slowing on Highway 89, that just north of I-84 as you make your way northbound toward Ogden, a little bit from South Ogden in there as you make your way somewhat toward Harrison Boulevard. Jason?
Accident-free, delay-free, and drama-free. That's how we're rolling in Utah County this morning. I-15 looking fantastic at regular speeds from the north to the south at this point. Also, no problems if you're headed up into the canyons and your major feeders over to I-15, Pioneer Crossing, Lehigh Main Street, 89. Those are all, 2100 North. Those are all looking good at this point. Hey, Utah County, Jones Peyton Glass is opening a new location in Payson. Be sure to come to their grand opening celebration on July 27th from 8 to 5. I'm Jason Jones in the KSL Traffic Center.
KSL 7-day forecast starts out with a high of 95 this afternoon and a chance for some pop-up isolated storms by evening. 94 tomorrow, partly cloudy generally. Most everyone will stay dry, but there's a sliver of a chance for a storm. 93 sunny skies on Sunday looks great. We start warming on Monday, 97 sunny skies. Upper 90s Tuesday and Wednesday with blue skies. High pressure in full control on Thursday, high of 100. From the KSL Weather Center, I'm Matt Johnson.
And right now it's 72 degrees and the 7-day forecast brought to you by Performance Automotive Bountiful.
Last time we took a look at the markets, they were off to a really good start futures-wise. Yesterday, where did we end the day? It was mixed. NASDAQ giving up some ground, Dow gaining a little bit of ground. We'll check that and the rest of your money news headlines next.
Steve, I have a college-age daughter, and we found that one of the best places to stock up on food for her, or really to help her with all her tight budgetary needs for a college kid, is at NPS, a nice place to save. They've got 20 to 70% off of all their items, and especially it's great for clothing. I mean, think a college kid, They don't want to wear the same thing twice. Well, if you're going to be like that, then you need to find a place to get it inexpensively.
And if you haven't been to NPS in a while, come and see the amazing look of these new stores. They are gorgeous. Everything is where it should be. Sometimes, before it was a little
more random.
Yeah.
Now it's a lot more specific.
Now it's like, oh my gosh, it's exactly what I need everywhere I go. Check out the new stores. They're gorgeous. Go see them.
They've got 4 locations, 2 in Salt Lake at 1601 South Empire Road, 1 in Layton at 1150 North Main, and 1 in Orem at 475 North State. And they have a website, npsstore.com, where you can actually bid on pallets and get stuff for incredibly cheap. So all kinds of great deals from our friends at NPS.
I wish people would learn to come in sooner. Unfortunately, by the time they come in our stores, they're almost desperate. They've been struggling trying to find a solution for their problem. They're looking with hope in their eyes. You've got to be able to help me.
You're listening to Beth, an arch support specialist at the Good Feet store.
A construction guy comes in and told me, I'm afraid I'm going to get fired. My feet hurt so bad, I can't do what I need to do at work. You gotta help me. It's unbelievable how quickly the product changes some things for some people.
For over 20 years, we've been helping people live the life they love without letting their feet get in the way.
When you're able to help them work more efficiently, more comfortably, and they're back and doing things that they've been wanting to do, things that they've missed. I go home every day proud of what I've done.
See what we can do for you with a free personalized arch support fitting at the Good Feet store.
The Good Feet store. Call 1-800-NEW-FEET or visit goodfeet.com.
Watching Utah's Money, brought to you by Trajan Wealth, your trusted local fiduciary advisors. TrajanWealth.com. Might be a really good time to buy a car. Ford, Tesla, Nissan, and Chrysler owner Stellantis is reporting big losses this week. Most automakers sitting on rising inventories and a big need to move vehicles off their lots before the end of the year.
Small business owners in Paris say the expected windfall they were told they'd get from the Olympics has been more of a bust. The Olympics haven't even started yet.
Yeah.
That seems a little premature. Major security restrictions in the city mean tourists are having trouble getting around, and in some cases that's meant they're staying put instead of spending money.
I told you it felt a little quiet on the roads compared to some of my last visits here in Paris, and that's playing out a little bit. The origin story of some popular snacks are headed to court. At issue is a lawsuit from the guy who says he invented Flamin' Hot Cheetos. Come on. The lawsuit accuses Pepsi of changing history to say they were already working on spicy flavors and that they came up with the name too.
Wow. All right, let's check your money at this moment. The Dow futures are up 234. That's more than 0.5%. S&P futures up 41. That's 0.75%. The Nasdaq futures up 206. That's 1.1%.
I think you might still find some wet roads out there this morning, but not a lot of other problems along the way. We'll check traffic and weather together in just a minute.
Time for a crucial conversation about your health and weight loss goals. Everyone wants fast results, but such results usually come with side effects. And such an approach is completely unsustainable. That's why I chose Soda Weight Loss. Its SOTA stands for state-of-the-art weight loss. It's swift, safe, and most important, sustainable. You know, with those fad diets and diet drugs, you have to ask the crucial question, is it safe? And what happens when you stop taking the drugs? Sadly, most people gain the weight back and a little bit more. Soda is the real, lasting, natural solution to letting go of weight and belly fat with no drugs, no side effects for real results. You know, I swiftly lost 37 pounds in 90 days, and I've sustained that exact weight for over 2.5 years. That's real, sustainable success. So do you want swift, safe, sustainable results? Go to Soda Weight Loss, SOTAweightloss.com today. Again, SOTAweightloss.com.
Gillette Heating and Air Conditioning is offering spring air conditioner tune-ups for only $59. Call 385-GET-COOL to schedule today. A Carrier Factory authorized dealer.
Before a disaster turns your family's world upside down, it's up to you to be ready. Get a kit. Make a plan. Be informed. Learn how at www.ready.gov. Brought to you by the Federal Emergency Management Agency and the Ad Council.
Good morning. I'm the 25% off window company.
25% off?
It's our biggest discount ever.
So what happened to the 40% off you were offering a couple months ago?
Well,
nothing. It's baloney. Hi, this is Kathy.
The Dog of Window World. When you hear those things, you know you've entered the baloney zone.
Resist the force of the baloney zone.
Call today.
281-8111.
Window World. Simply the best for less. And that's no baloney.
Now that Utah has scored the 2034 games,
we're back, baby. The Olympics are coming back to Utah. Thank you.
Congratulations. The Paris Olympics seem a little closer to home. Dozens of Olympic athletes have ties to Utah. Get full coverage on the 33rd Summer Olympiad, mornings and afternoons. Paris 2024 on KSL News Radio.
Traffic and weather together, brought to you by Sinclair's Dino Pay app. Save up to 20 cents per gallon. And how's it looking now, Andy?
Amanda, it's been pretty good for most of the morning traveling through the Salt Lake Valley. No slowdowns on the freeways right now. It's a little bit busy on 5600 West up by California Avenue, and some heavy traffic on State Street through roadwork in Sandy and Midvale. Len?
As you make your way, it's pretty smooth. Weber and Davis counties, I-15 smooth at this point. Ogden to downtown Salt Lake City. If you're heading up Trappers Loop up to the ski areas and do a little bit of a mountain biking or whatever, looking pretty good up there as well. A little bit of slowing as you make your way north Salt Lake and Bountiful on Main Street there as in either direction. Jason?
If you're looking for trouble in Parley's Canyon or Provo Canyon, you're not going to find it this morning. And no trouble down in Utah County either. I-15 is rolling smoothly right now from Payson all the way up to the point of the mountain. This is the Place Heritage Park, your family place for summer fun. Celebrate Utah history all month long with tons of patriotic activities, food, concerts, shops, and more. Visit thisistheplace.org. I'm Jason Jones in the KSL Traffic Center.
Going to look for a high today out of the 100 mark again. Matter of fact, we shouldn't see that until the end of the 7-day period. There's another 30% chance of showers today. 95 for a high, and it's 72 in Salt Lake City this hour.
KSL FM Midvale.
KSL Salt Lake City.
From the KSL Common Spirit Health Studios, this is KSL News Radio.
Utah's news, traffic, and weather station.
Good morning. KSL News Time now is 6 o'clock. From Paris, France, this is Utah's Morning News. I'm Tim Hughes.
And I'm Amanda Dixon. Our top story this hour is a series of arson attacks that have hit France's railway system just hours before the Olympic opening ceremony.
In a report obtained by ABC News that was issued early last month, the U.S. National Counterterrorism Center warned that while France has taken precautions to secure transit routes in and around Paris during the Games, other feeder routes across the country could be more vulnerable. And that, it appears, is what has happened, the effects of which could be felt right through the weekend. Tom Rivers, ABC News at the Foreign Desk.
Tim, you're live there in Paris. What's the latest information on these attacks? Do we know who's behind them by any chance?
They do not know, but they are officially calling it sabotage and not a terror attack. And I'm looking at a map right now. There were 4 different, one attempted attack, 3 successful, and they are all feeder lines going into Paris. It's interesting. So if you go to the west to Bordeaux, the southwest, that line was successfully sabotaged. The line from the north from Lille, France, also. The line from the east from Strasbourg. But coming in from Marseille and Lyon, they actually thwarted that possible fire, but obviously very strategic because they were put in places where it would damage the fiber optic lines that the controllers use, the drivers use of these high-speed trains to keep them on the track and keep them on separate tracks so that you don't have collisions. But it's preventing a whole lot of people from getting out of the capital to head to places like Bordeaux where they may have been trying to get away from the crowds here and just enjoy some sandy beaches. 250,000 people affected today, up to 800,000 for the weekend. We'll continue to watch the story from here.
Canada has sent home their women's soccer head coach after allegations of spying on their opponents with drones. KSL News Radio's Verl Johansson has more. Verl?
Amanda, Bev Priestman has been suspended for the rest of the Paris Olympics. Canadian outlet TSN reports there are allegations that the Canadian women's national team filmed their opponents' practices with a drone as early as the 2021 Tokyo Olympics, where Canada won the gold medal. Now, Canada also sent home assistant coach Jasmine Mander and analyst Joseph Lombardi a few days ago for reportedly using a drone to record New Zealand's practice before their matchup yesterday, where Canada won 2-1. Live, Verl Johansson, KSL News Radio.
Facilities are already built and maintained in Utah. The question of what else to do remains. KSL TV's Mike Hedrick spoke with Utah Olympic Legacy Foundation leader Colin Hilton, who says enhancements are a secondary concern for him.
The whole goal of these future games is to use what we have already built. I'm not really intrigued to find more ways to do capital improvements. I'm most intrigued of how to engage the community more to get excited about Olympic and Paralympic winter sport.
Hilton says these games will include plans for the communities to have continued use of those facilities for many years to come.
Utah is celebrating the 2034 announcement, but the work for the Games is just beginning. Salt Lake City, Ogden, Provo, Park City, and others will need to start preparing as soon as possible. The proposed venues include Snow Basin in Ogden, Soldier Hollow Nordic Center in Midway, the Salt Palace Convention Center in Salt Lake, and more.
KSL's top national stories this hour. 2 leaders of one of the most powerful Mexican drug cartels are now in custody. ABC's Jim Ryan reports.
Details of the trap that was laid for Ismael El Mayo Zampara still have not been disclosed, but the 76-year-old co-founder of the Sinaloa drug cartel, along with the son of imprisoned drug lord Joaquin El Chapo Guzman, were both aboard a twin-engine plane when it landed in Texas. ABC News has learned that Homeland Security and FBI agents took both men into custody, the culmination of a plan that had been in the works for months.
GOP leaders are reacting to the arrest. House Speaker Mike Johnson says they have been sounding the alarms about this in Congress. The news came as he was touring the southern border in California.
First look traffic now on your Friday morning, and here is Andy Farnsworth.
And right now, travel on I-15 clear in Salt Lake, Davis, and Utah counties so far, but we've had some busy spots show up on some city streets, kind of heavy running south on American Fork to Pleasant Grove on Main Street, but on the west side of the Salt Lake Valley so far, no extra delays. I'm Andy Farnsworth in the KSL Traffic Center.
Former President Donald Trump will be visiting Utah later in August. KSL News Radio's Michael Commit is live with that story this morning. Michael?
Tim, the last time the former president visited the Beehive State was back in 2017. And this upcoming trip is taking him to Park City for a fundraiser, 1 week after he officially accepted the Republican nomination for president. The proceeds will be going to his election campaign, which has begun pivoting ever since President Joe Biden dropped out of the race to endorse Vice President Kamala Harris for the Democratic nominee. And earlier this year, both the president and the vice president stopped in Park City as well. Reporting live, Michael Commit, KSL News Radio.
KSL at Night host and political consultant Taylor Morgan told Jeff Kaplan's Afternoon News the organizers of the event are some political heavy hitters.
John Shatner, Glenn Beck, and Doug Quezada from Utah. So some really prominent head fundraisers hosting this event. Interesting to see who will attend this event at the end of August.
The former president was initially supposed to visit Utah in June, but that visit was canceled after the first presidential debate was scheduled for the same day.
Speaking of former presidents, Barack Obama and First Lady Michelle Obama are the latest leaders of the Democratic Party to formally back Vice President Harris.
We called to say Michelle and I couldn't be prouder to endorse you and to do everything we can to get you through this election and into the Oval Office.
Oh, my goodness. Michelle, Barack, this means so much to me.
NBC News reports that the pair have been in close contact since she announced her candidacy and that the two have discussed appearing together on the campaign trail at some point.
Utah Senator Mitt Romney is working on legislation to protect children from the harms of social media. KSL News Radio's Andy Kopp has more.
The Kids Online Safety Act would expand many of the privacy rules already in place regarding children and social media. It would give parents, teachers, and kids the ability to protect their information, disable addicting product features, and opt out of algorithms. It would also give parents more visibility into what their kids are seeing online. Senator Romney says the legislation will force social media companies to put the well-being of children above profits.
The Senate is set to vote on the bill next week. It has broad bipartisan support.
Well, unlike what's happening transportation-wise here in Paris, no delay spots throughout the valley there this morning. Plus, driving into the mountains also pretty good. We'll check traffic and weather together coming up next.
Reliability, steadiness, trusted voices.
I'll listen to KSL in the morning. I use it to find my weather, to find my traffic. When you ask me what news is, I think of KSL first. We have you covered at KSL News Radio.
We have some exciting news to announce.
Master Electrical Service has joined Mountain Home Services.
And I can speak from experience, Deb. Mountain Home Services installed my furnace years ago, and it's been amazing.
And we know Master Electrical Service has been your trusted source for all your electrical needs, like your EV chargers, your generators, and recessed lighting.
But now that they've joined Mountain Home Services, they can help you with your HVAC, your heating and air, as well as your plumbing.
And it comes with that upfront pricing guarantee. I love the upfront pricing guarantee because it means no hidden fees.
100% satisfaction guarantee as well.
Master Electrical Service has been the name you trust since 1954.
They're the company we trust, and so can you.
Check them out now at mountainhomeutah.com.
That's mountainhomeutah.com, or give them a call at 801-543-2222. So easy to remember, 801-543-2222.
At Fisher Investments, we may seem like other money managers, but we're different.
Are you really that different than the rest of us?
We are. As a fiduciary, we always focus on what's best for our clients.
What services do you offer besides investing?
We have a team of specialists in financial planning, estate planning, and more.
Your clients rely on you for all that?
Yes, we ensure clients receive unparalleled service at every step of the relationship.
Okay, but you still sell commission-based products, right?
No, because we believe that's a conflict of interest. We prioritize service over sales goals.
So, then how do your fees work?
We have a simple and transparent fee that's a percentage of our clients' portfolios. So we do better when our clients do better.
Wow, we're more different than I thought.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at fisherinvestments.com.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
I'll tell you, one of the beautiful things, and Amanda, you and I have talked about this, one of the beautiful things of traveling through Europe is their high-speed rail system.
Yes.
Where you can get from one place to another, one country to another in just a matter of an hour or two. It's that system that had an attack on it today, and 1 in 4, I just read again, 1 in 4 Eurostar services between London and Paris have been canceled all the way until Monday. So there's some delays getting into Paris. What we can tell you is that Paris proper, where all of the festivities will be tonight for opening ceremony, seems to be business as usual, even though it's very, very tight security, obviously. We'll follow the story for you. Let's get a look at how the drive is shaping up here at 6:09. Traffic and weather together, brought to you by Sinclair's DinoPay app. How are things on the roads there, Andy?
So far this morning, Tim, no crashes to report, although State Street and 3300 South, we've got some busy traffic at the moment, northbound and westbound. And traffic on the west side of the valley, Mountain View corridor, all clear, but Bangor just a bit heavy coming past the 4100 South intersection in West Valley. Len?
On the road up by Great Salt Lake and Weber and Davis counties, I-15 busy from the Ogden area onto Salt Lake City, about a half an hour ride. Highway 89 looking good past Fruit Heights and from South Weber to Farmington, but busy in South Ogden approaching the merge with Harrison Boulevard. Jason?
We haven't seen any increase in volume down south on I-15 itself. It's running at 70-plus miles an hour right now, all the way from Payson up to the point of the mountain. No problems on your side streets as you make your way over to I-15. It's looking really good commute for this Friday morning, especially 2 days after a holiday. For a limited time, enjoy no payments for the first 90 days when you finance your vehicle with America First Credit Union. Head to americafirst.com to apply today. Equal opportunity lender. I'm Jason Jones at the KSL Traffic Center.
Hey, we've got a high of 95 degrees today. Slight chance for storms by evening. In the overnight, light showers possible, 70 the low. Partly cloudy on your Saturday, 94, with another slight chance for some pop-ups. From the KSL Weather Center, I'm Matt Johnson.
72 in Salt Lake City to start your morning.
Vice President Kamala Harris met one-on-one with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. Wonder how that went. She, of course, is one of the more vocal opponents to the war, talking about the importance of stopping the killing of civilians there in Gaza. So we'll find out more about how that meeting went when we talk to Karen Travers next on KSL.
Streaming live at KSLNewsRadio.com and on the app for KSL News Radio. We're Utah's news, traffic, and weather station.
Tim and I know your energy bills are probably a real challenge for you this summer. There is something that you can do that will really help your energy bills, not only now, but going forward. And that is talk to Superior Water and Air. They not only tuned up my air conditioner to make sure that it's running efficiently so I don't waste energy paying for air conditioning, but years ago they recommended when I was needing to get a new water heater, they said don't put 2 big water heaters in here and spend all this energy heating water you're not using. Get a tankless water heater that heats water on demand. And I said, sign me up for that. And it's been a benefit ever since.
Yeah, speaking of energy, saving energy, how about saving you when the energy goes out? If you have power outages in your neighborhood on a fairly regular basis, particularly this time of year, you know how annoying that can be and even life-threatening in some cases. But they have home standby generators that'll hook right to your house, run off the natural gas, and when the power goes down, they kick on and everything just keeps moving along.
Yeah, we had the power go out the other day, and the only reason I knew this, because the air conditioning was going and everything was still working, is because the alarm clock went out. So I thought, we must have had a power bump, but the home standby generator kicks right in.
Here's a number to call. They can help you in so many ways. Superior Water and Air, 801-974-9090 or online at superiorwaterandair.com.
Prices are slashed.
Hot deals at Dave's Bernina.
At their St. George and Provo locations.
Offers so good and they won't last long. Hot summer savings on the Bernina 790 Pro, Bernina 570QE, 570E, and 770 QE with free embroidery software and more extras valued over $4,000 with purchase.
All machines are discounted.
Featuring 1.9% interest for 48 months on certain machines.
All new Berninas come with a 5-year warranty and free classes.
The Bernina L Series Sergers are specially priced that include free Serger packages valued over $1,000.
Hurry in for amazing bargains on previously loved machines. Dave's Bernina, 691 East St. George Boulevard and 2017 North 550 West in Provo.
And did you know that Magic is coming? The top-of-the-line, all-new Bernina 990. Come in for exciting special pre-order offers.
Steve, I have a college-age daughter, and we found that one of the best places to stock up on food for her, or really to help her with all her tight budgetary needs for a college kid, is at NPS, a nice place to save. They've got 20 to 70% off of all their items, and especially it's great for clothing. I mean, think a college kid, you know? Yeah. They don't want to wear the same thing twice. Well, if you're going to be like that, then you need to find a place to get it inexpensively.
And if you haven't been to NPS in a while, come and see the amazing look of these new stores. They are gorgeous. Everything is where it should be. Sometimes, you know, before it was a little
more random.
Yeah.
Now it's a lot more specific.
Now it's like, oh my gosh, it's exactly what I need everywhere I go. Check out the new stores. They're gorgeous. Go see them.
They've got 4 locations, 2 in Salt Lake at 1601 South Empire Road, 1 in Layton at 1150 North Main, and 1 in Orem at 475 North State. And they have a website, npsstore.com, where you can actually bid on pallets and get stuff for incredibly cheap. So all kinds of great deals from our friends at NPS.
KSL News Time, 6:15. The 3 things you need to know this hour. First,
opening ceremonies haven't started in Paris, but Canada is already down 1 head coach. I'm KSL News Radio's Verl Johansson.
Second, the Provo City Council has been hearing from the unhoused in their area. They're unhappy with the ban on camping when there are no shelters for the homeless.
Third, it's traffic and weather together.
I-15 traffic has been good to go so far this morning into Salt Lake from both directions. Busiest traffic in Davis County is actually on Highway 89 going south from 2600 south into North Salt Lake. I'm Andy Farnsworth in the KSL Traffic Center.
Temperatures up near 95 again today with a slight chance for pop-up storms. I'm Matt Johnson.
Right now, 72 degrees at the KSL Common Spirit Health Studios.
Let's take a look at our top national stories now from ABC News.
From ABC News, I'm Sherry Preston. Sabotage and arson hitting key parts of France's high-speed rail network ahead of the opening ceremony at the Olympics in Paris. ABC's Tom Rivers has more from the foreign desk on warnings that came down about the games earlier this year.
In a report obtained by ABC News that was issued early last month, the U.S. National Counterterrorism Center warned that while France has taken precautions to secure transit routes in and around Paris during the games, other feeder routes across the country could be more vulnerable. And that, it appears, is what has happened, the effects of which could be felt right through the weekend. Tom Rivers, ABC News at the Foreign Desk.
The opening ceremony through Paris, including down the River Seine, is expected to begin in a few hours. A key endorsement from former President Barack Obama and former First Lady Michelle Obama for Vice President Kamala Harris's White House bid.
We called to say Michelle and I couldn't be prouder to endorse you and to do everything we can to get you through this election and into the Oval Office.
Oh my goodness. Michelle, Barack, this means so much to me.
Harris met with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu yesterday, separately from President Biden. Today, Netanyahu flies to Florida to meet with former President Donald Trump. Head of a key Mexican crime syndicate suspected of flooding American streets with fentanyl is in custody. ABC's Jim Ryan has details.
Details of the trap that was laid for Ismael El Mayo Zampara still have not been disclosed, but the 76-year-old co-founder of the Sinaloa drug cartel, along with the son of imprisoned drug lord Joaquin El Chapo Guzman, were both aboard a twin-engine plane when it landed in Texas. ABC News has learned that Homeland Security and FBI agents took both men into custody, the culmination of a plan that had been in the works for months.
New warnings about wildfires burning in the West. The Park Fire near Chico, California, is the largest so far this year in the state, scorching more than 160,000 acres, only about 3% contained. You're listening to ABC News.
Your voice, your vote, 2024. Special coverage on KSL News Radio.
Vice President Kamala Harris says she's ready to take on the former President Donald Trump on the debate stage.
She also appears to be taking on a more visible role in foreign policy, meeting this week with Israel's Benjamin Netanyahu. Joining us live is ABC News White House correspondent Karen Travers. How did that meeting with Netanyahu go, Karen?
The vice president came out afterwards and spoke to reporters and said it was a frank and constructive meeting with the prime minister. And she said she told him it's time to get the hostage deal across the finish line. She said there's been some hopeful movement in the talks to secure an agreement on the ceasefire deal. And she said it's time to get it done. But, from talking with White House officials, we heard from the National Security Spokesman John Kirby yesterday, it does sound like it's close and that they're in the final stages, that the remaining issues to be resolved are resolvable, focusing largely on the implementation of the exchange and release of Palestinian prisoners in exchange for hostages. But, we've been here before where it sounded like it was almost at the goal line and they just couldn't get it done. So we'll see. But the vice president did have that meeting yesterday with the prime minister following the president's meeting with the Israeli prime minister. The president and Netanyahu also met with the families of some of the Americans held hostage by Hamas, which was a very notable meeting. Afterwards, they said that they were very grateful to have that conversation and have the opportunity to talk about it and try to push that process along with the two leaders.
Do you think, Karen, that she will continue to follow the same line and attack that the Biden administration has had, or will we see a Kamala Harris stamp on this somehow?
Her policies have been the Biden-Harris administration's policies of pushing for a ceasefire, trying to secure the release of the hostages, advocating for a two-state solution, all things that she outlined yesterday in her remarks. Where she has gone a little farther is in talking about her concerns about actions by Israel and what is happening in Gaza. She said she raised with Netanyahu yesterday her serious concerns about the scale of human suffering in Gaza, including the death of far too many innocent civilians. She said, we can't look away in the face of these tragedies. We can't allow ourselves to become numb to the suffering, and I will not be silent.
Boy, it's going to be interesting to follow. Karen, thank you. ABC News White House correspondent Karen Travers with us on the In-Depth at 15 and 45. Let's get another look at traffic and weather together, brought to you by Sinclair's Dino Pay app. Save up to 20 cents per gallon. And back over to you, Andy.
Amanda, travel in Salt Lake County, quiet on the freeways, I-15, 215, and so far on SR 201. Watching Bangerter fill in a little bit in the West Valley stretch at 4700 to 4100 south in the work zone. And on State Street due to some road work just south of 215, 6200 south area. Len?
Rolling along this morning in Davis and Weber counties and points north of here. Sardine Canyon between Brigham City and Logan in good shape. A bit of slow traffic on Washington Boulevard in Ogden, south of 40th Street, and in Woods Cross on Highway 89 to North Salt Lake. Jason?
No trouble on the highways. This will greet you as you head out the door to work this morning down in Utah County. I-15 is at regular speeds. Pioneer Crossing, Redwood Road, 201 2100 North and Main Street in Lehigh are all looking really good, as is SR 92 at this point. Thinking of a kitchen remodel? Durden's matches every competitor's price, and you get rebates on single appliances or whole kitchen appliance packages. Durden's also offers next-day delivery on 5th South and Bountiful or Durden'sAppliance.com. I'm Jason Jones in the KSL Traffic Center.
KSL 7-day forecast looking at a high of 95 today. Plenty of sunshine for the first half. Then we'll see some clouds and maybe a 30% chance for a storm by evening. 94, partly cloudy on Saturday. 93 on Sunday. We pop back up to 97, blue skies on Monday. High pressure's in control for most of next week. Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, all in the upper 90s and near 100. From the KSL Weather Center, I'm Matt Johnson.
Our temperatures are identical in Paris and Salt Lake City right now. The difference is, of course, that it's almost 2:30 in the afternoon here, but 72 degrees. Amanda, those that are in charge of opening ceremonies a little concerned now because there's a 100% chance of showers at 7.
Oh, no.
8. An 87% chance of showers at 9, 70% at 10 o'clock. It's going to rain throughout opening ceremonies tonight.
Does that change anything?
It's a great question. I don't know. And I would imagine they've taken, some alternate plans here, but I don't know how they can change much. Going to be a lot of umbrellas out there along the Seine River, I think.
They'll be dancing in the rain. And
yes, they will.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's just about, a little more than 5 hours away from now. Are you going to get to see it in person, too?
There's no way. You know, this is not my first Olympic rodeo, and I know enough that I should stay in my hotel and not try to get into a throng of 350,000 people along the Seine and all the others that may be watching from the watch party locations, particularly if it's going to be raining. I'll be comfy at my hotel.
All right, that's good. That's good. And we'll be watching, of course, on Channel 5 either later this morning or tonight when they replay it at 7:30, I think, here on KSL Channel 5. Coming up next, we'll get another look at money news here on KSL News Radio.
Honey! Hello, honey! This has to stop.
Mowing the lawn? I can't. It grows too fast.
You planted grass in our bedroom.
Yeah, the green is a great compliment to the blue walls.
You planted grass in the hall and the kitchen, too.
I know. I love grass.
Yeah, I love grass, too, but not everywhere.
Does that mean I have to get rid of the riding mower, too? She handles great down the hallway.
Mom warned me there'd be days like this.
Grass doesn't belong everywhere. So now Utah Water Savers offers an incentive plan to replace your grass with water-efficient landscaping. Earn as much as $3 for every square foot of lawn replaced. Register at utahwatersavers.com and learn what incentives are available in your area. And if you thought money didn't grow on trees, guess again. Add trees to your project from a pre-approved list and you'll enjoy a tree bait. Reducing water use is one of the most impactful long-term changes you can make. So start at utahwatersavers.com. utahwatersavers.com.
Blast off for the birthday bash of the century at Craters of the Moon. There's nothing like it on Earth. Join the festivities beginning in May. Learn more at visitidaho.org.
Healthcare with human kindness is here. It's at Common Spirit Health. Hospitals, clinics, and caregivers all connected to advance healthcare in Colorado, Kansas, and Utah. Together, we have a common purpose, partnering with you in health and healing using powerful medicine, powerful technology, and the greatest power of all, human kindness. You'll know it when you see it, because human kindness is in every care site and in every caregiver. Common Spirit Health. Hello, human kindness.
High five! Up top! Heck yeah!
Dave's company just got the first ever 5-year price lock guarantee from Comcast Business.
Yeah, 5 years!
It's 5 years of gig speed internet.
High five for gig speed.
5 years of advanced security.
Security win.
And 5 years of a great rate that won't change.
Our rate ain't changing.
All from the company with 99.9% network reliability.
There it is.
He hasn't given this many high fives since Deborah brought in her famous banana bread.
Woohoo!
Now he's got savings.
I'm so excited.
Yep. Dave's feeling it, but it's only for a limited time, so don't wait. Switch today and ask how to get the first ever 5-year price lock guarantee from Comcast Business. Powering 5 years of savings, powering possibilities. Comcast Business.
And it's hurting, but I am not stopping.
Woo! Ends 8/21/24. Guaranteed rate applies to monthly service charge for new customers on qualifying internet bundle, excluding taxes and fees. Other restrictions apply.
Watching Utah's Money, brought to you by Trajan Wealth, your trusted local fiduciary advisors, TrajanWealth.com. Mortgage rates ticked up just a tiny bit from last week. The latest data from Freddie Mac shows the average rate on a 30-year fixed is now 6.78%. It's still nearly 0.5% lower than the peak earlier this year.
If you live in one of more than 200 cities, the price to buy a starter home is now, oh my gosh, over $1 million. Wow. That's well over double what it was before the pandemic. According to new research from Zillow, over half of those $1 million starter home cities are in California.
Video game performers may be taking a cue from their on-screen counterparts. They're on strike today, their second work stoppage under SAG-AFTRA. At issue is artificial intelligence protections for video game actors and performers as they negotiate a new contract.
Markets are having a good day, at least so far. The futures of the Dow up 251, the S&P is up 44, and the Nasdaq in the green this hour by 216.
At least it's a smooth commute out there. That's nice for a Friday morning. Southbound and northbound all looks good. We'll check it. Traffic and weather coming up next.
Hey, Steve, have you noticed your utility bills? Mine have almost doubled.
Yeah, trust me and call Brad at Gillette Heating and Air Conditioning. He got me not just a better system, but a carrier for about half the price of the big HVAC companies. You know, these super high energy systems can save thousands on utilities, and Brad showed me how to get almost $5,000 in utility and government rebates.
You have their number?
385-GET-HEAT. I even heard that if you get a system before the end of the month, they'll throw in a free water heater.
385-GET-HEAT.
Yep.
Got it.
Or head to GilletteServices.com.
Hey, Utah.
When it comes to guiding the growth of our state, you buzzed in with your comments, and we listened to what you had to say. Your feedback on the future of Utah's housing, water, transportation, and open space will continue to help our leaders make important policy decisions, preserving and improving our high quality of life in meaningful ways for years to come. So, thanks for speaking up. Learn more about our state's future at guidingourgrowth.utah.gov.
Now that Utah has scored the 2034 games,
we're back, baby. The Olympics are coming back to Utah. Thank you.
Congratulations. The Paris Olympics seem a little closer to home. Dozens of Olympic athletes have ties to Utah. Get full coverage on the 33rd Summer Olympiad, mornings and afternoons. Paris 2024 on KSL News Radio.
Time again for a look at traffic and weather together here. Brought to you by Sinclair's Dino Pay app. Save up to $20.20. Let me get that right. Save up to 20 cents per gallon. All right, let's go back to Andy Farnsworth. He's in the traffic center.
Well, Tim, I-15 traffic still clear through Salt Lake County. We've got a little bit of State Street busy traffic around Midvale, especially just coming off 215 and heading south. But it looks good on the west side, Mountain View and Bangor. No extra delay yet. Len?
Looking very good as you make your way this morning on Weber and Davis counties. A little bit of slowing again on Washington Boulevard as you make your way southbound after 40th Street and Highway 89 toward I-84. Otherwise, I-84 itself is good as making your way out to Mountain Green. I-15 in good shape. A little bit of slowing still. Woods Cross to North Salt Lake on US 89. Jason?
Hartley's Canyon looks good and remains clear this morning. I look at no problems right now on Foothill Drive either. If you're headed up Provo Canyon, you're not going to really find any trouble. In fact, volume is pretty much light anywhere you look, all along the canyons and down into Utah County as well. There's just really no trouble to speak of. UDOT construction alert, the southbound I-215 exit from 4700 South will be permanently relocated starting Sunday, July 28th. Plan to exit about 1 mile earlier. I'm Jason Jones in the KSL Traffic Center.
We'll get up to about 95 today. We do have a chance of rain. I saw a little bit early this morning coming in from West Jordan, but we'll have a chance of rain later on today as well. Right now it's 71 downtown.
You're listening to Utah's Morning News with Tim Hughes and Amanda Dixon
on KSL News Radio.
102.7 FM and 1160 AM.
Good morning, live from Paris this morning. KSL News Time is 6:30.
KSL's top story this hour.
Search and rescue will resume a recovery operation on the Grantsville Reservoir this morning.
KSL News Radio's Michael Commit is live with more. Michael?
Amanda, this happened yesterday night after high winds drew two swimmers far from the shore. One of them was able to make it back and call 911, and spokesman John Smith with the North Tooele Fire District says this led to an overnight recovery effort for the other swimmer.
As of 3:30, we still had no sign of the swimmer and were forced to terminate until first light today.
Darkness and heavy winds complicated the overnight search, and multiple fire departments, highway patrol, and search and rescue are involved with the recovery. Reporting live, Michael Commit, KSL News Radio.
Over half of Tooele County is experiencing moderate drought conditions with little relief in the near future. KSL News Radio's Verl Johansson takes a look at that story. Verl?
Tim, the U.S. Drought Monitor reports close to 55% of Utah is experiencing abnormally dry conditions. Now, a small section of southwestern Box Elder County joins Tooele County experiencing those moderate drought conditions, making up the almost 5% of the state in that level. Now, we saw some rain last night and this morning across the state, and KSL meteorologist Matt Johnson says we may see some more rain later today before temperatures heat up heading into next week. Reporting live, Verl Johansson, KSL News Radio.
Utah's Fire Watch, a fire burning in Summit County has jumped to 55% containment. Investigators have determined it was human-caused. It's burned around 360 acres so far. Another human-caused fire that started as a prescribed burn is still burning 6 weeks later. The Little Twist fire is up to 85% containment, burning more than 5,300 acres.
A video caught the moment a dumpster fire shocked a Lehigh family. KSL TV's Daniel Woodruff reports.
Amanda Clark and her family were celebrating Pioneer Day in Lehigh when she says people she didn't know pulled into the neighborhood.
We saw some boxes of fireworks going in the dumpster, and then a few minutes later, bam!
It shocked her nephew, Jack.
Lehigh firefighters didn't confirm fireworks started the fire. No one was hurt and no homes were damaged. Last night was the last night fireworks were legal this season.
KSL's top national stories this hour. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu met with presumptive Democratic nominee and Vice President Kamala Harris for their first face-to-face discussion on the war with Hamas. ABC's chief global affairs correspondent Martha Raddatz has more.
It was Harris who took center stage after her 40-minute session with Netanyahu, strongly backing Israel's right to defend itself, but saying bluntly that far too many innocent civilians have been killed, calling the situation in Gaza devastating. At the same time, criticizing protesters who burned a flag and shouted anti-Israel slogans here in Washington.
It's Harris's first meeting with a foreign leader since she started her presidential campaign following President Biden's exit. She called it a frank and constructive meeting.
Fresh off his visit to Washington, D.C., Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu is headed to Mar-a-Lago. He is set to visit former President Donald Trump for the first time since the 2020 election. They've reportedly not spoken since Netanyahu congratulated President Biden on his win in that race. Florida officials are preparing for possible protests with tight security around the meeting.
Andy's here now with your first look traffic.
I-15 traffic's been pretty good this morning. We haven't seen any delays yet. We do have some State Street issues because of road work in Murray around 3900 South, and we've had some issues on Highway 89 going south in Woods Cross, although that looks a little bit better until you get into North Salt Lake just before the I-15 merge. I'm Andy Farnsworth in the KSL Traffic Center.
The Provo City Council heard comments from the public on homelessness, but did not take any action. A man called Carlos told them he became homeless after graduating college, opening a business, and having a family.
21 years of giving it my best was not good enough, so I pulled things up, closed down my State Farm office of 10 years, and to figure out what street life is like.
Advocates for the unsheltered say they offer help with housing, evictions, overnight shelter, and health care, but they say there simply aren't enough resources. Provo has an estimated homeless population of up to 300 people.
A new donut shop in Salt Lake is helping unsheltered Utahns, one colorful pastry at a time.
General Manager Nicholas Smith says the shop is part of a bigger plan to help the unsheltered population.
We're part of a bigger mission, which is the Other Side Village, which is a tiny home community that they're building, and there'll be sustainable, affordable housing built on that site.
Smith says all the bakers are from the Other Side Live-In Prep School and are trained to bake and decorate the donuts.
We figured out with no baking experience other than some training, some mild training, how to produce 1,000 donuts at the quality that you're seeing.
Smith says once they graduate the school, he can hire them to work in the shop and is expecting to hire his first graduate this year. Josue Sanchez, KSL News Radio.
An Ogden Charity's goal is to supply kids in need with backpacks and school supplies. Other years, they usually have enough supplies to give to all kids who come to the Joyce Hanson Hall Food Pantry, plus more to give to school districts. But Catholic Community Service Basic Needs Director Randy Chappell says so far they only have enough for half.
Inflation has amped up the need lately. We've seen an increase probably every last couple of years of kids in need.
Chappell estimates that 600 kids will come to the backpack giveaway event. If you'd like to donate a backpack, drop it off at the Joyce Hanson Food Bank in Ogden by next Saturday.
Bit of congestion now on Bangalore Highway, but it looks like the rest of the side streets are moving freely. We'll check your traffic and weather together coming up.
Join your friends who rely on KSL each morning for the fastest routes to work and school.
I am listening for the traffic.
I'll always know if somebody's going to be late to work.
That's often what's on when I'm driving.
Traffic and weather together every 10 minutes on the 9s.
On KSL News Radio.
That precious cool air inside your house shouldn't be seeping out through old drafty windows. But if it does, get stylish new windows and frames at factory direct pricing from Advanced Window Products. This is Jeff Kaplan. Advanced Window Products has been building windows here in Salt Lake City for 38 years. But even if you don't need windows, they can give your interior a fresh new look with blinds, shades, and shutters from Graber. They offer custom-crafted window treatments featuring the trendiest designs, premium materials, and quality without compromise. Advanced Windows offers start-to-finish service with shorter lead times so you get your custom blinds, shades, and shutters sooner. Call them for a free in-home consultation with their designers. It's a no-pressure experience, and if you need new windows, $2,500 off on 10 windows or more. Or if you need window treatments, it's Advanced Window Products. 801-850-9100. That's 801-850-9100, or go to advancedwindowsusa.com.
Did you know your skin is the largest organ of your body? Huh? That's why you should shower with Old Spice Super Hydration Body Wash instead of plain old bar soap. Love your skin by super hydrating it with vitamin B3 and glorious notes of vanilla and shea. Did you know that my super hydrated skin is the second largest organ of my body? The first is my heart. Old Spice. Men have skin too. Old Spice Super Hydration Body Wash. 24/7 renewing moisture. With daily use.
As a roofer, I don't have time to fail. Homeowners rely on me, so I rely on Beacon. Beacon's unique network of branches work together to get me what I need when I need it. And with the Beacon Pro Plus app, I've got the brands I depend on, like GAF, right at my fingertips. Now through September 15th, purchase high-quality GAF with Beacon Pro Plus and earn up to $1,500. Go to BECN.com or download the Beacon Pro Plus app today. Beacon, always building.
Rain in the forecast tonight, Amanda, for opening ceremonies here in Paris, now just 5 hours away. And one of the big questions is who will carry the flame into, normally you'd say into the stadium, but for opening ceremonies tonight. The audio you're listening to right here was quite a moment yesterday when Salma Hayek got her torch lit and she walked it through the Hall of Mirrors out at the Palace of Versailles. Which you've probably seen some amazing pictures of. And the video that's getting the most attention, of course, you can hear the horses here walking through the great gates of Versailles. It will be the location for all of the equestrian events when they get underway. And then they took that flame and lit a small cauldron right in front of Versailles yesterday as they get one day closer to the Olympic Games here in Paris. We'll have continuing coverage for you throughout the day.
The video that I saw that got some attention was Snoop Dogg.
Oh, yeah.
Snoop Dogg with the Olympic flame. That was fun.
He is living it up here, I'm telling you.
6:39 now. Traffic and weather together brought to you by Sinclair's Dino Pay app. Save up to 20 cents per gallon. And back to you, Andy.
Amanda, travel through the valley on I-15 has been good from Draper to downtown, 20-minute travel time. The only slowdowns I'm seeing a little bit on the 201 freeway at 7200 West and some backups northbound on California Avenue northbound on 5600 West at California Avenue. Len?
Looking great in Weber and Davis counties right now. I-15 is showing no delays. You can go all the way to Tremont if you want with no delays, or on to Idaho. Willard Bay is looking good as you make your way past that into Ogden and into the downtown Salt Lake City area with no delays. US 89, Legacy Parkway are trouble-free right now. Jason?
Thanks, Len. It's the same down south. If you are traveling through Utah County, you're not going to find any problems right now on I-15 north and southbound. Looking at really good speeds, and volume is light and no problems on the major feeders over to I-15. And you're also looking good if you're headed up into the canyons this morning. When you choose Performance Automotive in Bountiful, you're choosing convenience with 4 dealers inventory: Performance Ford Lincoln, Performance Honda, Performance Toyota, and Truck Country, all in one place. PerformanceBountiful.com. I'm Jason Jones at the KSL Traffic Center.
It's a great late July day with highs in the mid-90s and a slight chance for some isolated storms in the evening. 70 overnight, partly cloudy, maybe a slight chance for a shower. Partly cloudy on Saturday, 94 the high. From the KSL Weather Center, I'm Matt Johnson.
Still 72 degrees downtown.
Coming up in just a moment, it's been a wild ride on the stock market this week. We'll make sense of it when we talk to Caleb Silver just ahead.
Right now, though, it's time for Jeff Kaplan's Minute of News, and it's brought to you by the law offices of Jordan Wilcox.
Maybe you're not as excited as Ryan Smith about a hockey team, which he'll buy for about $1 billion. And he might want to build a new arena, or there's talk that he'll renovate the Delta Center. You know how the upper deck is so steep there? Well, there are rumors he wants to make the incline more gradual upstairs for better sight lines for hockey. And that's important if you have kids and want to go to a game, because downstairs, up close, a solid rubber puck can come flying straight at you at 80 miles an hour. In the old days, if you got hit, an usher would hand a towel to the person at the end of the row, and it'd be passed down so you could sop up the blood without missing any action. But it happened a few days ago at a minor league Cleveland Monsters game.
Now, out of nowhere, this puck comes out of heaven, straight towards my son's head.
Asia Davis was so grateful for the quick reflexes of the guy sitting next to her 4-year-old son, but she had no idea who he was.
He blocked it. My son had chips of ice in his hair.
So she asked TikTok.
TikTok, I need your help finding someone. This man right here.
And TikTok found the young guy with the quick reflexes, Andrew Podolak.
So my first instinct was just jump in front of it. I was lucky enough just to reach my hand over in just the right time.
And this is hockey. The Cleveland Monsters scrambled to get the little boy, his mom, and their hero out on the ice for a ceremonial opening face-off.
We are excited to welcome back Monsters fans Asia and her son, Nasir, along with Andrew, who were seated next to each other at Thursday night's Monsters game when a puck came into the stands in their row.
So Ryan Smith, we hope you fix the upper bowl at the Delta Center. And folks, if you want to see what it's all about and go to a game and you have young kids, sit upstairs for hockey.
Jeff Kaplan's Minute of News, only on KSL News Radio.
This is Derek Overstreet of the New Millennium Group and host of Stop Working and Start Living Radio. If you're close to or in retirement and you don't have a tax plan, call us right now, 888-999-6370. That's 888-999-6370. Listen, our country's been spending like never before, and the tax bill is coming soon. If you need an income tax strategy and a financial plan that will get you through the rest of your life, give my team a call, 888-999-6370. That's 888-999-6370. If you want an investment plan that allows you to keep more of your gains and pay less taxes, give us a call, 888-999-6370. My team specializes in the type of plan that will get you retired 3 to 5 years sooner than you thought possible. So, get a no-cost tax analysis by calling 888-999-6370. That's 888-999-6370. My team is standing by now.
Getting help with electrical repairs is easier than you think. All you have to do is call Any Hour Services or schedule an appointment at anyhourservices.com. No one helps more homeowners than Any Hour Services.
Good morning, KSL News Time, 6:45. The three things you need to know this hour. First,
former President Donald Trump will be visiting Park City for a fundraiser later next month. I'm KSL News Radio's Michael Commit.
Second, the Senate will vote on legislation next week aimed at protecting children on social media. The Kids Online Safety Act would give parents greater control over what their children see online.
Third, it's traffic and weather together.
Well, we got some slowing on 5600 West near California Avenue and on State Street near 3900 South. But otherwise, most of our roadways are pretty quiet on this Friday morning. I'm Andy Farnsworth in the KSL Traffic Center.
Lots of sunshine today with isolated storms possible in the evening. I'm Matt Johnson.
Right now, 72 degrees at the KSL Common Spirit Health Studios.
And time for a look at our top national stories.
ABC News, I'm Sherry Preston. Kamala Harris getting an endorsement from a former president who had stayed out of the endorsement game until now, Barack Obama and his wife Michelle, calling Kamala Harris yesterday to confirm that they're backing her in her White House run. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu meeting with the presumptive Democratic presidential nominee for the first time face-to-face since the October 7th attacks. Here's ABC News Chief Global Affairs correspondent Martha Raddatz.
It was Harris who took center stage after her 40-minute session with Netanyahu, strongly backing Israel's right to defend itself, but saying bluntly that far too many innocent civilians have been killed, calling the situation in Gaza devastating. At the same time, criticizing protesters who burned a flag and shouted anti-Israel slogans here in Washington.
France's high-speed rail network has been hit by widespread and coordinated acts of violence ahead of the Olympics opening ceremony in Paris in a few hours. This is ABC News.
Let's go in depth here. 6 of the 7 stocks known as the Magnificent Seven saw a significant fall on Thursday.
Joining us live with more details, ABC News, Caleb Silver. What's the Magnificent Seven, Caleb?
Yeah, this is that group of big tech stocks and semiconductor stocks that have been driving all the market gains really for the past year and a half. We're talking about Apple, Microsoft, NVIDIA, Tesla, Netflix is in there, Alphabet is in there, and Amazon. We call them the Mag 7 because these are the biggest stocks in the stock market. And the stock market, the S&P 500 and the NASDAQ, two closely watched indices that a lot of us have our 401ks tied to, these drive all the gains because they're market-weighted indexes. So as Jimmy Cliff would say, the harder they come, the harder they fall. When they go up, the market goes up. When they fall, the market falls with them.
Has it always been this way, Caleb? Because I seem to hear more worry about so few stocks having such big control of the markets.
Yeah, because overconcentration is a theme that comes up from time to time. But you know what? There's nothing new about it. You might remember the internet stocks in the late 90s. You might remember telecom in the 80s. You might remember, if you're old enough, the railroad stocks at the beginning of the century, auto stocks. We always get this concentration. It was oil and gas in the 70s. But this particular group of stocks has become $2-3 trillion companies because investors have been piling their money into them because they are growing the fastest. What's happened in the past couple of weeks, this notion that the Fed is going to lower interest rates, that's going to make money cheaper, and that actually benefits smaller stocks, which carry a lot of debt. So we've seen this rotation out of mega caps, out of the Magnificent Seven, into what we call the Russell 2000, smaller stocks that benefit when money becomes cheaper. Totally healthy and not crazy, but this is what markets should do. They should broaden out so there's more breadth in the market. You want more stocks rallying than just a few.
I mean, we have seen some losses, later in the week, but we had such outrageous gains that we're still in the plus, aren't we?
Absolutely. The stock market, the S&P 500, is still up around 14-15% year-to-date. That is outstanding, especially after the year we had last year. So investors, long-term investors, should relish the fact that we've had an incredible run. This has been a pretty strong bull market, and we're only halfway through it in terms of historical averages. There is a lot of uncertainty with the election. There's a lot of uncertainty with the economy, but we just got the Personal Consumption Expenditures Index, the Fed's preferred gauge of inflation. It rose just 2.5% in June. That is right where the Fed wants inflation. So now we're getting to this normalization of the economy, which is also good news for households and for investors as well. So breaths like this, when we get breaks or little bear market reversals in the middle of a bull market, that just makes things a little bit cheaper if you want to buy more stocks or add to your positions.
Caleb, thanks for the virtual hug today. I kind of like all of that.
I feel good. I'm fired up.
That's terrific.
Smiles everywhere.
Thank you, Caleb. That's Caleb Silver with us on the In-Depth at 15 and 45.
All right. Let's see. 6:49. Time for us to get a look at the drive, traffic, and weather together. Brought to you by Sinclair's Dino Pay app. Save up to 20 cents a gallon. Andy?
Well, Tim, we had a texter tip us off about a crash on Mountain View Corridor. It's southbound at the Daybreak Parkway in South Jordan, and it looks like the right lane is blocked for traffic trying to go through that intersection. Not a big delay, but it is there and affecting traffic. We've had some slowing on 5600 West this morning. It's pretty thick right now, really almost from 21st South all the way up to California Avenue right now. Len?
In Weber and Davis counties, we are looking at a drive rolling along, delay-free on the freeways, but at Mountain Green off of I-84, making your way up Trappers Loop as you're making your way up to Snow Basin or Huntsville or the lovely Pine View up there. A little bit of slow traffic going up there. That's not unusual, though, because it's kind of a slow drive up there. Jason?
Green means go, and we're seeing plenty of green in Utah County this morning. I-15 rolling smooth all the way from Payson to the point of the mountain. 201, Pioneer Crossing, 2100 North, and Redwood Road, all looking good as well. No trouble on your side streets right now. I got to stop talking about the 201. I'm not in Davis County anymore. Step out of the heat into cool mountain air and artistic beauty this Friday, 6 to 9 p.m. during Park City Gallery Association's Stroll and Artist Meet and Greet. Visit parkcitygalleriassociation.com. I'm Jason Jones with the KSL Traffic Center.
KSL 7-day forecast starts out with a high of 95 this afternoon and a chance for some pop-up isolated storms by evening. 94 tomorrow, partly cloudy generally. Most everyone will stay dry, but there's a sliver of a chance for a storm. 93 sunny skies on Sunday looks great. We start warming on Monday, 97 sunny skies, upper 90s Tuesday and Wednesday with blue skies. High pressure in full control on Thursday, high of 100. From the KSL Weather Center, I'm Matt Johnson.
And right now we have a few clouds and 72 degrees, and the 7-day forecast is brought to you by Performance Automotive Bountiful.
A little less than an hour from now, I'll share some of the information that I've been able to glean around here in Paris on what the expectations are, some of what's going to be happening during opening ceremonies. They don't want it all out of the bag. But let me just tell you, Amanda, and our listeners, if you want to see a little preview of what the light show is going to be like around Eiffel Tower, take a look at my social media, my Facebook and my Instagram, because I shared Alice Cabrero's video from last night. He was getting set up for a live shot for Channel 5, and they were testing the light systems around Eiffel, and it's really something to see.
Wow, looking forward to that. And we'll learn more next hour here on KSL. But up next, another look at money news.
When Dee and I built our new home, and it's almost been 10 years now, I think of all of the appliances that we put in that house, and I cannot tell you how many of them already we have had some major repairs and even replacements. You know the one thing that I haven't given a second thought to? It's the Connecticut soft water system. It is remarkable. We've had 2 systems in 2 different homes, and not once have we ever called with an issue to my friends at Connecticut. It's time for you to call Connecticut. If you're replacing an old system or if you're building a new home, whatever it might be, you will be amazed at how efficient the Connecticut soft water system is. For example, when your neighbor puts in 3 bags of salt in his or her system, you will be putting in only 1. It's remarkable how efficient it is. Give them a call. Great people to do business with. Call Northern Utah's authorized Connecticut dealer at 801-576-8600 or go to softwaterutah.com.
She wants a diamond, and you want to give her one. Sierra West Jewelers carries beautiful laboratory-grown diamonds with 90 pointers starting at only $499, 1 carat starting at only $789, and 2 carats start at $1,698. If it's fine jewelry you want, find it at Sierra West Jewelers, across from the malls in Sandy, Orem, and Murray, or at sierrawestjewelers.com.
Good morning. I'm the 25% off window company.
25% off?
It's our biggest discount ever.
So what happened to the 40% off you were offering a couple months ago?
Well,
nothing. It's baloney. Hi, this is Kathy.
The Dog of Window World. When you hear those things, you know you've entered the baloney zone.
Resist the force of the baloney zone.
Call today.
281-8111.
Window World. Simply the best for less. And that's no baloney.
Watching Utah's Money, brought to you by Trajan Wealth, your trusted local fiduciary advisors, TrajanWealth.com. A proposed merger between the parent company of Smiths and Albertsons is on hold. A Colorado judge issued an injunction ahead of a September trial. Several states have challenged the move, worrying that it'll drive up prices. In a statement, Kroger says it would do just the opposite.
Utah gas prices are finally going in the other direction after a month of steady increases. AAA reports our average price for a gallon of regular unleaded is $3.57, down about half a cent from yesterday. Diesel is down about a penny.
CrowdStrike, the company behind last week's massive Microsoft outage, is offering a kind of apology, to vendors like Delta, who are still recovering from what happened. That apology, a $10 Uber Eats voucher.
Seriously.
Which your kids get Uber Eats, right, at home?
That'd cover a small McDonald's meal or 1 Starbucks.
That's crazy. By the way, that $10 Uber Eats voucher, not for customers, for the companies affected.
Yeah. All right, your money at this moment, we're about a half hour from the opening bell. Dow futures up 205, that's 0.5%. S&P futures up 39, that's 0.75. The NASDAQ futures up 184, that's 1 full percent.
We've got a crash out there, southbound Mountain View Corridor, Daybreak Parkway in South Jordan. Still no major delays anywhere, though. We'll have your traffic and weather together when we come back.
You know that you're going to buy a home. The question is, what lender should I work with? Realtors often boast about their preferred lender.
You know, if you use my preferred lender, you'll be in great shape.
But interest rates and closing costs are not the same at every lender. So before you go with your realtor's preferred lender, call Rick at Loans by Rick and get another breakdown of your closing costs and your interest rate. Call 801-809-SAVE or click loansbyrick.com. Loans by Rick will give you a comparison on your loan cost that may save you thousands of dollars in closing costs and get you a lower rate too. And when you have all the facts, you can decide who's the better lender for you. Rick closes over 90% of clients' loans in 12 to 22 days. That's amazing. Call 801-809-SAVE. That's 801-809-SAVE or click loansbyrick.com. 801-809-SAVE, loansbyrick.com.
Rick Kirschenbaum, NMLS 241179 and Vintage Lending, NMLS 287106 are equal housing lenders. Some restrictions apply.
Discover the best of senior living at Trio Orem and Trio South Ogden. Today's older adults aren't wrapping up their life's journey, they're seeking a new one. And Trio Independent Living is here to help them do just that. With a smart, modern, and connected lifestyle, residents cultivate relationships and maximize independence through signature programs like Prime Fit Wellness that bring living well and well-being to life. Welcome to the new age of senior living. Schedule your visit at leisurecare.com/Utah today.
Jeff Kaplan. I'm energized by breaking news. First of all, because it's right now, and second of all, because in many cases the audience needs to know. There's no more important service that we can provide, and I find it critically important to get more details to the audience as quickly as possible. There's nothing more energizing than that for me. Not at all. The most important thing we do is breaking news. I am gratified that so many people listen to me every afternoon on KSL, but what they don't know is that there are so many people behind the scenes making it happen, checking on the traffic, answering the phones, making the calls, talking to the newsmakers. They're out in the street, into the field to get the raw information, and then putting it all together so that I can sit in front of a microphone and be a source of information every afternoon. But there are so many people who make it happen. That's what you don't know.
Ride Home with Jeff Kaplan, weekdays 3 to 7 on KSL News Radio. In 2024, dating is a disaster.
We've been ghosted, breadcrumbed, stuck in situationships.
Hi, I'm Debbie.
I'm Caitlin. Welcome to our new podcast, Dating at Her Age.
Dating has been so dicey for us, we asked KSL, can we launch an all-new podcast about it?
People use these dating apps. You're not really dating when you're on the dating app.
Dating at Her Age, brought to you by Mountain Home Services. A new episode drops every Thursday on KSLNewsRadio.com.
6:59, traffic and weather together, brought to you by Sinclair's Dino Pay app. Save up to 20 cents per gallon. And back over to you, Andy.
And right now, travelers on the west side of the valley have a couple of problem spots. First of all, a crash northbound on 5600 West at California Avenue, blocking 2 lanes. That's why we've got the delays that go from 21st up to California Avenue. The other delay is southbound, and it's not a big delay, but it is there, southbound on Mountain View Corridor at Daybreak Parkway, where we've got a crash blocking the right lane near the intersection. Len?
Still looking good in Davis and Weber counties with no delays as you make your way from Ogden to the downtown Salt Lake City area. A little spot of slowing coming up. Beck Street is making your way up toward the Capitol. Otherwise, the north end of the I-215 in good shape down to I-80. Legacy Parkway is wide open, too, as well as US 89. Jason?
It's an accident-free commute in Utah County. No problems if you are headed up Provo Canyon or Parley's Canyon as well, up towards Park City. Those are free and clear in both directions. Your major feeders over to I-15 are looking good, and it's just regular speeds. It's an excellent commute for your Friday morning. Planning to remodel this summer? See the latest in stunning quartz tile and granite countertops from Bedrock Quartz. With 7 locations across Utah, including a new Park City showroom, visit bedrockquartz.com. I'm Jason Jones in the KSL Traffic Center.
Going to look for a high today of 95 degrees, but there's a 30% chance of showers there. 100% chance it's going to rain on opening ceremonies here in Paris tonight. Our temperatures are similar, 70 degrees this hour.
KSL FM Midvale.
KSL Salt Lake City.
From the KSL Common Spirit Health Studios, this is KSL News Radio.
Utah's news, traffic, and weather station.
It's 7 o'clock on Utah's Morning News. We are now just 4.5 hours away from opening ceremonies live in Paris. I'm Tim Hughes.
And I'm Amanda Dixon. KSL's top story just hours before the Olympic opening ceremony. France's railway network has been hit by a series of what officials are calling arson attacks.
The head of France's rail network, SNCF, saying it was a coordinated attack. Fires were reported overnight at about 4 a.m. local, with France's high-speed rail lines seeming to be the intended target. Fires were set along 3 lines. A 4th fire on another line was stopped. Train traffic to Paris has been severely disrupted, with 800,000 passengers expected to be affected. The rail network saying it will take all weekend to repair. Inez de la Cuetera, ABC News, Paris.
Tim, you're there in Paris. What's the latest on this?
Within the hour, France's transport minister has confirmed that a number of what they're describing as incendiary devices have been found by authorities investigating the cause of this. He describes the attacks as a criminal act. They're being very careful not to call it terrorism. They're calling it sabotage today, meant to shut down all of the high rail systems or high-speed rail systems coming into Paris from places like Lyon and Lille and Bordeaux. But here's a little bit of good news today from Eurostar, the operator of those high-speed trains. Their chief commercial officer says he's confident most people in the UK will be able to get to Paris for the Olympic Games despite the disruption in France. They have canceled 1 in 4 of those trains, but Other than a 90-minute delay, which they're still sticking with, they say folks should be able to get to Paris today. And I can tell you from Paris, it's business as usual for the opening of the games tonight.
And no group has taken responsibility for the sabotage?
Not so far.
Canada's women's soccer team will go the rest of the Olympics without their head coach. This comes after reports of Canada using drones to spy on their opponents. KSL News Radio's Verl Johansson has more. Verl?
That's right, Amanda. The Canadian Olympic Committee and Canada Soccer have suspended head coach Bev Priestman. Canadian outlet TSN reports it's because of allegations that Canada's women's team used drones to spy on opponents during the 2021 Tokyo Olympics, where Canada won the gold medal. Now, earlier this week, the team sent home an analyst and an assistant coach for reportedly flying a drone over 2 New Zealand practices, Canada's first opponent in the Paris Olympics. Now, for the rest of the Olympics, the team will be led by assistant coach Andy Spence. Reporting live, Verl Johansson, KSL News Radio.
With the Olympic Games coming back to Utah, the question on what to do with existing venues remains. KSL TV's Mike Hedrick reports the facilities had a new roof installed on the Olympic Oval just 5 years ago.
Colin Hilton leads the Utah Olympic Legacy Foundation. His team manages the money left over from 2002 set aside to keep the Games and its venues alive. So far, they have exceeded all expectations.
And we're 4 times busier today in use of these facilities than just after the O2 Games.
Hilton says with the facilities already in place, his goal is to get the community excited and be sure those places will be used for many years to come.
A road in Provo was renamed this week, just in time for the announcement of the 2034 Olympic Games returning to Utah. The street formerly known as Seven Peaks Boulevard has been renamed Olympic Boulevard. The street sign is blue instead of the usual green and has Olympic rings on it.
Utah celebrating the 2034 announcement, but the work for the Games is really just beginning. Salt Lake City, Ogden, Provo, Park City, and others will need to start preparing as soon as possible. The proposed venues include Snow Basin in Ogden, Soldier Hollow Nordic Center in Midway, the Salt Palace Convention Center in Salt Lake, and, of course, a lot more.
A man from Harribin named Rory Linkletter is one of nearly 40 Utahns competing in Paris. KSL TV's Lauren Steinbrecher caught up with his mom, Tara Thompson, before she left for France.
We're all excited that he's made the Olympics and he's going to go run.
The Olympic marathon runner grew up in Harriman and ran track at BYU. So he'll be representing Utah, but running for Team Canada, the country his mom is proudly from.
Absolutely. I was pretty excited when he chose to represent Canada.
Wow. Linkletter is a marathon runner who grew up in Harriman.
Other national stories we are following this morning. The head of a cartel blamed for thousands of American deaths has been arrested in Texas.
76-year-old Ismael El Mayo Zampara, co-founder of the Sinaloa cartel, climbed aboard his twin turboprop plane Thursday to inspect a piece of property in Mexico. Also on board was Joaquin Guzman Lopez, the son of the cartel's infamous co-founder and former boss, El Chapo. The plane landed not in Mexico, but on the U.S. side of the border near El Paso. Federal agents were waiting and took Zampara and Guzman Lopez into custody. Jim Ryan, ABC News, Dallas.
First look traffic on the 7 o'clock report, and here is Andy Farnsworth.
We have a couple of crashes, both on city streets. One at California Avenue, 5600 West. The northbound drive's backed up to 21st South from that crash, although it looks like at least one of the emergency vehicles may have left the scene. Southbound on Mountain View in South Jordan at the Daybreak Parkway intersection. Looks like that crash has been moved to the shoulder, and I don't see any more slowing there. I-15 has been moving great this morning, whether you started in Ogden, Salt Lake, or Provo. I'm Andy Farnsworth in the KSL Traffic Center.
Former President Donald Trump will be in the Beehive State next month. KSL News Radio's Michael Commit is live with the story. Michael?
Tim, Trump accepted the Republican nomination at last week's convention, and this will be his first visit to the Beehive State since 2017. He was planning on visiting Utah during June, but that fundraising trip was canceled after the first presidential debate happened on the same day. This latest fundraiser will happen on August 29th, and any proceeds from the upcoming fundraiser will be going to Trump's election campaign as it pivots to meet Vice President Kamala Harris's Democratic nomination. Reporting live, Michael Commit, KSL News Radio.
KSL at Night host and political consultant Taylor Morgan told Jeff Kaplan's Afternoon News the Biden-Harris campaign has visited Park City multiple times this election season as well.
It is literally an ATM machine for national candidates, a lot of wealthy and prominent donors.
Morgan says the organizers of the event are some political heavy hitters and could make some major donations.
The Biden and Trump campaigns had agreed to a debate hosted by ABC on September 10th, But with Vice President Kamala Harris now taking the top spot on the ticket, that's in doubt. However, a debate may still happen. News Nation's Brooke Schaefer reports.
Fox News inviting both campaigns to a debate in September. As of right now, neither campaign has formally responded to that invitation, but a Trump spokesperson telling us the former president is ready to debate anytime, anywhere.
The Trump campaign has said it won't commit to any debate until the Democrats officially pick their nominee. The Democratic National Convention begins later in August, but the delegates are expected to hold a virtual vote on August 7th to approve the nomination of Harris.
Former President Donald Trump's running mate is facing growing criticism on social media for comments he made 3 years ago. In the 2021 Fox News clip, Senator J.D. Vance criticized Democrats, including Vice President Kamala Harris, who don't have biological children.
We're effectively run in this country via the Democrats, via our corporate oligarchs, by a bunch of childless cat ladies who are miserable at their own lives and the choices that they've made, and so they want to make the rest of the country miserable too.
The clip started going viral after Hillary Clinton shared it on X. Vance's spokesperson says his words were twisted, sharing a clip where he voiced similar views but clarified he was not talking about people who can't have children.
Utah Senator Mitt Romney is co-sponsoring a bill that aims to protect children from the harms of social media. Here's KSL News Radio's Andy Cupp.
The Kids Online Safety Act would provide kids and parents with tools, safeguards, and transparency.
It gives parents controls so they can also guide what their kids are seeing.
Romney says the ultimate goal of the act is to force social media companies to put the well-being of children above profits.
And it's basically saying we're going to hold the social media companies accountable for the content and the algorithms that are being put before kids.
The Senate will vote on the bill next week. It currently has broad bipartisan support. Andy Cupp, KSL News Radio.
KSL News Time is 7:09. Traffic and weather together every 10 minutes on the 9s, brought to you by Sinclair's Dino Pay app. Save up to 20 cents per gallon. And back to you, Andy.
Amanda, it looks like they've got both lanes now open on 56th West at California Avenues. Traffic's starting to move through that intersection a little quicker. You've got some slowing and a little bit of extra wait time from 21st South up to California Avenue on 56th West, but that should improve. Crash is gone from Daybreak Parkway and Mountain View Corridor. I-15 looks fantastic from Draper to Salt Lake. 20-minute travel time, Len.
Likewise, in Weber, Davis County, I-15 is just sailing along. No delays from Ogden to downtown Salt Lake City or points north of here. If you're looking at US 89, it's in good shape between South Weber and Farmington there at Lagoon, but a little bit of slowing still as you make your way toward Harrison Boulevard, heading southbound toward Uinta. Jason?
It's been a really nice drive down in Utah County, especially if you are on I-15, because you're looking at good speeds there. 2100 North, Main Street and Lehigh, also Pioneer Crossing are pretty much clear at this point, headed over to I-15, as is SR-92. If you're headed up to the Wasatch Back, no problems right now, Provo Canyon or Parley's Canyon. For a top-quality kitchen or bath with top-quality craftsmanship, call 3-Day Kitchen and Bath. They're always on time with no delays and meet all deadlines. Visit 3daykitchen.com. I'm Jason Jones in the KSL Traffic Center.
KSL hourly forecast. We've got clearing clouds at 7 a.m., temperatures in the low 70s, and light and variable winds. By the lunch hour, partly cloudy and temperatures in the mid-80s. By this afternoon and evening, we will top out at 95 degrees, with a couple of storms possible. From the KSL Weather Center, I'm Matt Johnson.
And right now, 70 degrees in Salt Lake City.
Theaters are staffing up because this weekend, it's Deadpool and Wolverine.
Oh, boy.
We'll talk more with Andy Farnsworth about the movie coming up on KSL News Radio.
Well, the tradition of the Olympic torch lighting continues today. ABC's Inez de la Catera is here in Paris.
Today, the torch will make the final leg of its journey to the opening ceremony. Rapper Snoop Dogg will be among the torch bearers, with the flame being used to light the Paris 2024 cauldron, marking the official beginning of the Games.
That torch relay wrapping up, of course, later this morning.
The opening ceremony for the Olympics just hours away. France's most popular singer, Aya Nakamura, will be performing. I've heard of her. That's beautiful. Along with a duet from, and this is going to be exciting, Celine Dion and Lady Gaga. The duo will be performing the most famous French song, La Vie en Rose.
It's going to be wonderful tonight. We'll tell you more about what's expected in the next half hour, so make sure you stick around. The Ohio Supreme Court has ruled that boneless wings refer to a cooking style, and consumers cannot assume them to be completely free of bones. What? The ruling comes after a man attempted to sue a restaurant who served him boneless wings. One of the wings contained a long, thin bone which tore his esophagus and gave him an infection.
Okay, how can boneless not mean without bones?
I have no idea. You know, it's funny because George Carlin used to do a bit on this when he would talk about a semi-boneless ham.
Yeah.
He'd say, semi-boneless, what does that mean?
It's like
but
you
in
can't
this
be
case,
you can't be a little bit pregnant and you can't be a little bit boneless.
Right, and in this case, they do say it's a boneless wing, but holy cow.
All right. The viral YouTube series Skibidi Toilet can soon come to TV or film. Skibidi. Oh, sorry. I've never heard of that, Andy. He's got teenagers, he says. Michael Bay and former Paramount Pictures president Adam Goodman say they are in talks to adapt the viral series Skibidi Toilet. The popular series has more than 17 billion views, Tim. Holy cow.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with it either. All right. Trending this hour on the 7 o'clock report, if you ever get the chance to go hiking in Death Valley, don't take off your shoes. Why would you do this?
I don't know.
The warning from the National Park Rangers who say a European visitor got third-degree burns on his feet just walking barefoot on the sand dunes because of a language barrier. You shouldn't have to be told if it hurts. Rangers weren't able to tell whether he lost his flip-flops or they got broken, probably melted. They took him to a burn unit in Las Vegas for treatment. Death Valley, famously known as one of the hottest places on Earth, the air temperature can be near 130 degrees, but it was 123 degrees not long ago, and the sand, of course, can be much hotter.
He was wearing flip-flops.
Crazy.
Wow. Celine Dion is trending.
I'm alive.
As we just told you, she's performing with Lady Gaga at the opening ceremony, but it'll be her first performance since her diagnosis with stiff person syndrome.
By the way, she looks really good. They have been following her around a lot. She's made a couple of public appearances here in Paris, and fans of Celine Dion are going to feel much better about where she is with her health struggle when they see her, I can tell you that. One of the most famous art museums in the world is also trending. The famous clock room inside, and I'm going to destroy this, but it's the Musée d'Orsay, is becoming an Airbnb tonight for one night only in conjunction with the opening ceremony. Airbnb gave away a night for 2 guests at the museum for tonight only, and it's right along the Seine River. The designer of the Torch and Cauldron in Paris created the temporary space in the clock room, which we're told includes a spectacular view of opening ceremony. Wouldn't you love to know what they paid for that?
Man, that'd be incredible.
Yeah. All right. KSL News Time now, 7:15. The 3 things you need to know this hour. First,
French police say a series of coordinated arson attacks have disrupted service on 3 train lines, affecting at least 800,000 travelers. This is all just hours before the Olympic opening ceremony. I'm KSL News Radio's Alexandria Bonilla.
Second, former President Donald Trump will be in Utah next month for a fundraising event. It will be the first time the former president is here in the state since 2017.
Third, it's traffic and weather together.
I-15 traffic has been great this morning. No crashes or delays on the freeways. We had a crash at 56th West and California Avenue that's now clear, but there's still a little bit of wait time going north through that intersection. I'm Andy Farnsworth in the KSL Traffic Center.
Temperatures up near 95 again today with a slight chance for pop-up storms. I'm Matt Johnson.
And right now, 70 degrees at the KSL Common Spirit Health Studios.
Let's check our top national stories.
From ABC News, I'm Sherry Preston. Wildfires raging across the West, in Idaho, in Oregon, and in California, where the Park Fire near Chico has burned more than 160,000 acres. Here's ABC's Kana Whitworth.
The initial spread, unrivaled, burning 4,000 acres an hour. More than 1,000 firefighters on the attack from the air and the ground, trying to save the town of Cohasset. Thousands forced to flee their homes with almost no warning, some trapped, sheltering in place.
Now, what's shocking to many of the people who live there, the Park Fire was deliberately set by, police say, a man who pushed a burning car into a gully. Strong condemnation by the French government to what's being called coordinated vandalism and sabotage on high-speed rail networks in France just hours before the Olympics opening ceremony in Paris. ABC's Tom Rivers is at the foreign desk with more.
As the French sports minister says,
it's just unacceptable. It's probably a large-scale sabotage with some malicious acts probably coordinating.
As to the current situation, Emile Udacastra adds,
we're still in the process of analyzing all the impacts, assessing what we're going to implement as solutions.
The disruptions estimated to affect the journeys of some 250,000 travelers today alone. Tom Rivers, ABC News at the Foreign Desk.
Under arrest, the co-founder of the powerful Mexican Sinaloa drug cartel, also under arrest, along with the son of the cartel's former boss, Joaquin El Chapo Guzman. Following a strong string of endorsements from top Democrats, presumptive presidential nominee Kamala Harris got a big win yesterday from former President Barack Obama and former First Lady Michelle Obama.
I can't have this phone call without saying to my girl Kamala, I am proud of you. This is going to be historic.
The former first couple videotaped, phoned her, and then that was videotaped. You're listening to ABC News.
Well, the third movie in the Deadpool series is a big summer movie this weekend.
I know I turn everything into a joke, but I care. I want to use that for something important.
Deadpool and Wolverine in theaters now. Host of the KSL Movie Show, Andy Farnsworth, is with us. Did you like it, Andy?
Okay, so I got to qualify this because this is not for kids, even though it's a quote-unquote superhero movie. Got to say
it's
that
R-rated,
first.
right?
Oh, so R-rated. So R-rated. But it was hilarious.
I'm glad to hear it was funny because from some of the video, I was trying to figure out if they kind of lost the Deadpool angle on the humor, but no.
Oh, no, they did not. And it's all – in fact, and Gustavo saw it with us, so we got a little – Gustavo can even chime in here if he wants to. But basically the story is this: Deadpool needs Wolverine's help to stop an existential threat to Deadpool's timeline. And if you've watched Loki, you know that there's like the variants and different timelines of different, things. And he doesn't want his to get erased, so he goes to get Wolverine to help him. But which version of Wolverine is he going to choose, because of the multiverse? And can the two of them not kill each other before they can help violently murder the bad guys? That's basically the plot right there.
All right.
Now, I told you, Amanda, it was irreverent, vulgar, extremely violent, bloody. But
And you
was
loved it.
Also hilarious and had some of the best, most hilarious, unexpected cameos I've ever seen in a superhero movie. If you love the X-Men, if you're already a fan of Deadpool, their Easter eggs are off the chart, and I think you'll love it. I think it might reference every Marvel movie ever made, not just like in the last couple of years.
Okay, I want Gustavo to jump in. Tell me what you thought, Gustavo.
I loved it. It was awesome. I'm just such a nerd for Deadpool.
Maximum effort.
It was awesome.
But here's my problem with it. First of all, if you were a fan of the first two Deadpool movies, it leans really heavy into the Wolverine relationship, so the characters from the first couple of movies really hardly in this one. And it's so violent, bloody, and full of F-bombs that there's just not a lot of people I'd feel comfortable watching this with. And I'm kind of disappointed because the way Marvel Disney's marketing it, I think kids who are way too young to see this are going to want to see this so bad.
They'll just
I'm
have
not
to
a fan
wait.
of that. Oh, I know, and I hope that they will. But that my feelings about comic book movies are they should always be for kids. I get that maybe make a director's cut that goes to video, but that's just me, the prudish parent, chiming in. But I did laugh, and as a comic book nerd, this hit all the notes.
All right. You guys going to be out and about today?
Yes, we are going to be at NPS in Salt Lake at 1600 Empire Road. Oh, and I got to tell you guys, there is one other series that we'll talk about on the movie show on Apple TV+. It's called Time Bandits, Lisa Kudrow and Taika Waititi, and it is hilarious and safe for all ages.
All right, good deal. We'll be listening for sure. Right now, put your other hat on. Traffic and weather together. Brought to you by Sinclair's Dino Pay app. Save up to 20 cents per gallon, Andy.
Amanda, travel on I-15's been great this morning, and we finally got those delays cleared over on 5600 West at California Avenue where we had a crash. now that the crash is gone, the delays are gone, and everything is happy and back to normal in the Salt Lake Valley, Len.
On the move in Weber and Davis counties and points north of here, if you're making I-15 from Brigham City on down to Ogden and all the way through past the Air Force Base to Kaysville and Layton and into the downtown area in fine shape. Legacy Parkway in the north end of the I-215 showing no delays. Jason?
And there hasn't been any trouble at all in Utah County this morning, and we continue on with that. That's the theme of the morning on I-15, 70-plus miles an hour, rolling up to the point of the mountain there. Looking good in Provo Canyon, Parley's Canyon, no problems on the Wasatch Back at this point either. Jordan Valley Water tells us water use is up about 10% compared to last year. Mow grass at max blade height to shade lawn roots and promote deeper growth so you can water less often. I'm Jason Jones in the KSL Traffic Center.
KSL 7-day forecast looking at a high of 95 today. Plenty of sunshine for the first half. Then we'll see some clouds and maybe a 30% chance for a storm by evening. 94 partly cloudy on Saturday. 93 on Sunday. We pop back up to 97 blue skies on Monday. High pressure's in control for most of next week. Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, all in the upper 90s and near 100. From the KSL Weather Center, I'm Matt Johnson.
70 degrees in Salt Lake City, and the 7-day forecast brought to you by Performance Automotive Bountiful.
We're looking for a strong open on the markets. The futures are way up a few minutes before the opening bell. We'll check it. Money News just ahead on KSL News Radio.
This is Derek Miller speaking on business. 10 years ago, Utahns Jason Murray and Mark Hannock founded PAX, a post-acute healthcare company. In April, PAX launched a successful IPO on the New York Stock Exchange and now has 275 facilities in 14 states. PAX VP of Communication, Brooke Stevenson, tells us more.
PAX is revolutionizing the delivery, leadership, and quality of post-acute care nationally. We started PAX because we felt there was a better way to provide quality care in the post-acute healthcare sector. And as we execute on our mission, we're making a tremendous difference in the lives of the most vulnerable population in our country. We've taken decades of hands-on experience in post-acute care and translated that into a model that greatly reduces administrative burdens for our leadership teams. We do the heavy lifting on the business side, which gives our local teams more time to focus on the care, well-being, and quality of life of their patients and their employees. PAX elevates the delivery of local healthcare by providing technological and human resources, tools, and guidance, and empowering facility leaders and their teams to make local decisions based on patient needs. It's a simple philosophy that healthcare is local, and the focus on care is our top priority.
Utah is a leader in healthcare services and technology. PAX is a national leader in skilled nursing and post-acute care. The combination of PAX business model and Utah's healthcare talent provides a ready solution to the challenges facing the industry. I'm Derek Miller with the Salt Lake Chamber, speaking on business.
Steve, I have a college-age daughter, and we found that one of the best places to stock up on food for her, or really to help her with all her tight budgetary needs for a college kid, is at NPS, a nice place to save. They've got 20 to 70% off of all their items, and especially it's great for clothing. I mean, think a college kid, you know. Yeah. They don't want to wear the same thing twice. Well, if you're going to be like that, then you need to find a place to get it inexpensively.
And if you haven't been to NPS in a while, come and see the amazing look of these new stores. They are gorgeous. Everything is where it should be. Sometimes, you know, before it was a little more
random.
Yeah.
Now it's a lot more specific.
Now it's like, oh my gosh, it's exactly what I need everywhere I go. Check out the new stores. They're gorgeous. Go see them.
They've got 4 locations, 2 in Salt Lake at 1601 South Empire Road, 1 in Layton at 1150 North Main, and 1 in Orem at 475 North State. And they have a website, npsstore.com, where you can actually bid on pallets and get stuff for incredibly cheap. So all kinds of great deals from our friends at NPS.
Watching Utah's Money, brought to you by Trajan Wealth, your trusted local fiduciary advisors, TrajanWealth.com. It might be a really good time to buy a car. Ford, Tesla, Nissan, and Chrysler, owner of Stellantis, all reported big losses this week. Most automakers are sitting on rising inventories, and they have a big need to move vehicles off their lots before the end of the year.
Utah gas prices finally going in the other direction after a month of steady increases. AAA reports our average price for a gallon of regular unleaded now $3.57. That's down about half a cent from yesterday.
The origin story of some popular snacks are headed to court. At issue is a lawsuit from the guy who says he invented Flamin' Hot Cheetos. Doggone it. The lawsuit accuses Pepsi of changing history to say they were already working on spicy flavors and that they came up with the name too.
Boy, here's one Olympic money story, and it's a good example of why reporting is important and how you go about telling a story. Lots of headlines here about 600,000 tickets still being available, 600,000 for the Olympic Games. But the other side of the story is organizers have sold 9.7 million tickets, which would be a record. And so that's 8.7 million sold for the Olympics, 1 million for the Paralympics. So ticket sales are just fine, even if you see the headlines. But that does mean if you're in the area, there's still a chance to get some tickets to all of the events.
Let's get a look at your money at this moment just before the opening bell. Dow futures up 239, that's 0.6%. S&P's up 38, that's 0.7. And the Nasdaq futures up 175, that is 0.9%.
We'll get another look at traffic and weather together coming up here in just a minute.
Can we speak for a minute to season ticket holders at Hale Center Theater? You have a week left while you have pick of the litter. So for the next week, if you go to hct.org, you can buy your 2025 season tickets and pick whatever night and show and seats you want. But on August 1st, they open it up to the rest of people. And so they're going to grab up those seats and nights that you want. So season ticket holders, make sure you get online today.
Well, and you were running through some of what's coming next year. It's fantastic.
Oh, Little Women, The Prince of Egypt, the musical, Finding Neverland, 12 Angry Men, Footloose, the musical, and Sister Act, just to name a few.
Yeah, and every once in a while you get a real gem, and this one really surprised me, quite frankly. I was familiar with the story of the Nutty Professor from my childhood and the Jerry Lewis movie, but they have taken it to a whole new level live on stage. It stays beautifully. The actors are amazing, as always, so you don't want to miss your opportunity to see the Nutty Professor right now on the center stage.
With music by Marvin Hamlish.
100%. Here's the number to call, 801-984-9000, or go to hct.org.
Now that Utah has scored the 2034 games,
we're back, baby. The Olympics are coming back to Utah. Thank you.
Congratulations. The Paris Olympics seem a little closer to home.
Dozens of Olympic athletes have ties to Utah.
Get full coverage on the 33rd Summer Olympiad, mornings and afternoons. Paris 2024 on KSL News Radio.
Join KSL News Radio's Maria Chaleo Saturday from 8 to 11 at the Jones Paint and Glass grand opening of their new location, 1626 West, 800 South in Payson.
7:29 means traffic and weather together. Brought to you by Sinclair's Dino Pay app. Save up to 20 cents a gallon. Here's Andy.
Tim and Amanda, we've got a clean drive on I-15 through the valley. It's State Street that's a bit busy right now between 33rd South and I-80. On the west side, Mountain View and Bangerter, both clear of delays through the West Valley portion. And no slowdowns on 201 just yet. Len?
We're looking at a nice drive right now. You're on the West Davis Parkway, smooth driving, as well as on Legacy, the north end of the I-215 Beltway as you make your way from the north interchange to I-80. And I-15 moving along very nicely, Ogden to downtown Salt Lake City. Jason?
No delays right now on Foothill or up Parley's Canyon, Provo Canyon to the Wasatch back. Those are all looking free and clear. Likewise, down in Utah County. No problems right now on I-15. In fact, it's been a delay and accident-free commute all morning long, and we continue on that way. Also, your major feeders over to I-15 are accident and delay-free. At IFA, you'll find soil treatments like Revive and Aqua Drive to keep your lawn green in the summer heat. IFA Country Stores, helping to grow the things you love. I'm Jason Jones in the KSL Traffic Center.
Today we'll get up to about 95 degrees. We do have a chance of thunderstorms later today. Tomorrow 94 and the storms move out. Right now it's 70 degrees downtown.
You're listening to Utah's Morning News with Tim Hughes and Amanda Dixon
on KSL News Radio.
102.7 FM and 1160 AM.
Good morning, KSL News Time, 7:30.
KSL's top story this hour.
Search and rescue crews have been searching overnight for a swimmer last seen in the Grantsville Reservoir.
KSL News Radio's Michael Commit is live with more. Michael?
Amanda, this happened after high winds took two swimmers far into the reservoir. One of them was able to make it back to the shore before calling 911. And John Smith, a spokesman for the North Tooele Fire District, says that call was made just after 9:30 last night.
We were able to get a couple of boats on the water as well as a couple of divers in the water. And after about 2 hours, that was considered a recovery effort.
those same winds and darkness are making the recovery effort more difficult. It was called off around 3 a.m. Earlier this morning, but is expected to resume at first light this morning. Reporting live, Michael Kmitt, KSL News Radio.
Drought conditions are back in Utah for the first time in almost a month. KSL News Radio's Verl Johansson has more. Verl?
Tim, according to the U.S. Drought Monitor, around 5% of the state is in moderate drought conditions, almost all of it in Tooele County, with a little bit in southwestern Box Elder County. Now, close to 55% of the state is in abnormally dry conditions, which is just below the drought level. We saw some rain last night and earlier this morning in parts of the state. KSL meteorologist Matt Johnson says there's a slight chance of scattered showers across the state later this afternoon and evening as well. Verl Johansson, KSL News Radio.
Fires are still popping up all over the state. Lightning sparked a fire about a mile north of a geothermal plant in Beaver County. Fire authorities believe it's burned about 50 acres so far. A 100-acre fire is burning just northwest of the Great Salt Lake. At this time, it doesn't appear to be threatening any buildings or infrastructure. Experts say wildfires in the west are growing about 5 times faster than in years past.
A dumpster fire in Lehigh shocked a nearby family. KSL TV's Daniel Woodruff spoke with Amanda Clark, who showed the video to him the moment curiosity turned into terror.
It looked innocent enough until it wasn't.
Oh my gosh, it was insane.
Clark said she'd been celebrating with family when people she didn't know pulled into the neighborhood and threw boxes of fireworks into the dumpster. No one was hurt, no homes damaged, but the video is a lesson in caution. Last night was the last night, by the way, the fireworks are legal this season.
KSL's top national stories this hour. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has wrapped up his Washington, D.C. visit. More from ABC's Christian Cordero.
Likely Democratic presidential nominee, Vice President Kamala Harris, meeting with Israel's prime minister and reaffirming her support for Israel and push for a ceasefire in the war in Gaza.
I also expressed with the prime minister my serious concern about the scale of human suffering in Gaza, including the death of far too many innocent civilians.
The vice president called for the end of the war.
It is time for this war to end, and end in a way where Israel is secure, all the hostages are released, the suffering of Palestinians in Gaza ends.
The prime minister also met with President Biden, praising him for, quote, a half century of friendship to Israel.
Fresh off his visit to Washington, D.C., Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu is headed to Mar-a-Lago. He's set to visit former President Donald Trump for the first time since the 2020 election. They've reportedly not spoken since Netanyahu congratulated President Biden on his win in that race. Florida officials are preparing for possible protest with tight security around the meeting.
First look traffic on your Friday morning, and here is Andy Farnsworth.
And right now, I-15 all clear of delays or crashes. Nothing to back you up or add to your drive time. And things have quieted down on our city streets as well after we had a couple of earlier crashes last hour. Those are gone. I'm Andy Farnsworth in the KSL Traffic Center.
The Provo City Council is hearing from some of the estimated 200 to 300 homeless people who are unhappy with the ban on camping in the city. Elise Bauer grew up in and out of homelessness. She says the ban on sleeping in public and risking arrests or citations is unfair.
And the way that we treat them, of telling them to leave our city, telling them that they can't car camp, I think something needs to be done. I feel like we should open some cooling shelters and warming shelters if we can't open a shelter.
Bauer is now in college and working on a degree in pre-med. Advocates say there isn't enough assistance to go around. Meanwhile, the city council did not take any action on the request presented in the public comments.
A new donut shop is helping unhoused Utahns with every donut sold. KSL News Radio's Josue Sanchez has more.
The new shop, Other Side Donuts, has fun, colorfully decorated donuts, all made by formerly unhoused Utahns. General Manager Nicholas Smith says this is just one of the social enterprises from the Other Side Village. He says the team of bakers were formerly unhoused no more than a year ago and are students for the Other Side Live-In Prep School. Smith says they bake over 1,000 donuts a day and all proceeds go back into the Other Side Village.
Smith says when the people on his team graduate the Other Side program, he can hire them to work as employees in the shop.
Catholic Community Services helps kids go back to school by giving them backpacks and school supplies, but this year they say they have only have 50% of what they need. Basic Needs Director Randy Chappelle expects 600 kids to show up to the Joyce Hanson Hall Food Bank next Saturday.
Most years we feel like we're in a spot where we have enough.
this year is a little different. And
Chappelle says monetary donations aren't going as far as they used to, and more children are in need because of rising costs.
Discounts on University of Utah student meal plans used to only be available to students on campus. Once Sean Grube, VP of Housing and Residential Education, heard about that rule, his team wanted to change it.
It was really important that we make that option available to everyone. A lot of work with both our housing information system as well as campus to expand that option, and now all students can purchase a meal plan.
Students, regardless of where they live, can sign up on the Housing U portal.
Looks like we're back to an accident-free commute with good speeds all along the Wasatch Front. Traffic and weather together is coming up next.
Spend time with KSL News Radio and get a deeper understanding of the world around us.
You've got voices like Boyd Matheson. I enjoy his measured approach to things. A very balanced view.
Inside Sources, weekdays 1 to 3.
On KSL News Radio.
I'm Jeff Jr. with Trajan Wealth, debunking 3 myths about fiduciaries. And you're going to be surprised about myth number 3. Myth number 1. Fiduciaries are too expensive. Not at Trajan Wealth. Our interests are aligned with yours, so we don't need to push costly investments. The more you make, the more we make. It's that simple. Myth number 2. They will only want to sell me something. Absolutely not. At Trajan Wealth, we have hearts of teachers, and it's our goal to educate and empower, not sell. And the biggest myth? Myth number 3. Fiduciaries are only for the wealthy. Not at Trajan Wealth. Whether you have 50 grand or 50 million, we know it was hard-earned and we'll treat it as such. Let's grow together. So, here's your opportunity for a 100% complimentary professional Q&A. Call Trajan today at 801-899-7600. That's 801-899-7600.
Advisory services offered through Trajan Wealth, LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisor.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance engineer, he hears things differently. To the untrained ear, everything on his shop floor might sound fine, but he can hear gears grinding or a belt slipping. So he steps in to fix the problem at hand before it gets out of hand. And he knows Grainger's got the right product he needs to get the job done, which is music to his ears. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? Brakes? We can save you 15% on that. We have OE quality Duralast brake pads and rotors in stock, ready for pickup or delivery. We also have calipers, brake fluid, tools, and anything else you'll need to do the job right. When you get Duralast pads and rotors together, you'll save 15%. It's just part of what makes us America's #1 brakes destination.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
KSL News Time is 3:39. That's Paris time. It is 7:39. Amanda's got your traffic.
Traffic and weather together. It's brought to you by Sinclair's DinoPay app. Save up to 20 cents per gallon. And back to you, Andy.
Looks great on the freeway I-15 through the Salt Lake Valley. Oh, so far, no delays on the I-80 or 201 freeways coming from the west side. A little bit heavy, though, on Bangerter now near 4100 South. Len?
Well, traffic in Paris a little gummed up, but here in Davis County and Weber County, we're looking pretty good. I-15 working very well all the way from Brigham City on down to the downtown Salt Lake City area. Also on the, looks like US 89 is delay-free, making your way from South Weber down to Farmington, and that little spot of slowing near Uinta is gone as well. Jason?
Light volume will greet you as you head out the door to work this morning. If you have to go to work this morning, you're going to be good speeds all along I-15. No problems right now, pacing all the way up to the point of the mountain. Going to run at 70-plus miles an hour through that entire stretch there. Pioneer Crossing, 2100 North, Main Street in Lehigh. They're all looking good, as is SR 92. No problems if you are headed up into the Wasatch back right now either. Those roads are all free and clear also. Experience the best at the Moran Eye Center located in your neighborhood. Get the care you need for anything from dry eye to cataracts. Moran provides hope, understanding, and treatment for all. I'm Jason Jones in the KSL Traffic Center.
KSL Pollen Report. We've got a broken record here, folks. Grass and ragweed again in the moderate category. Trees and mold into the low. They'll likely pick up as we head into the weekend and early next week. From the KSL Weather Center, I'm Matt Johnson.
Yeah, the KSL Pollen Report is brought to you by the Moran Eye Center. Right now in Salt Lake City, it's 70 degrees.
There have been so many secrets around the opening ceremonies there in Paris where you are, Tim, but you'll share with us what you do know coming up in just a moment.
I will, and I apologize a moment ago. I was a little distracted. I continue to get updates on this train situation here, and the Associated Press just said that 2 trains carrying Olympic athletes to Paris on the western, I think they call it the Atlantique line, stopped hours before the opening ceremonies. One was canceled. They hope to be able to transfer those athletes to another train so they can get here. Can you imagine?
Oh, no.
If you made the Olympics and you can't get to Paris for opening ceremonies.
Oh, no.
Yeah, we'll try and keep an eye on that this morning. But right now, it's time for Jeff Kaplan's Minute of News, brought to you by the law offices of Jordan Wilcox.
I always get mixed up about France. Are we supposed to despise the French or love them? On the one hand, who doesn't want to see Paris in the springtime? To stroll along the River Seine, hand in hand with your amour? Oh, look, mon chéri, fresh baguettes. On the other hand, 20 years ago this month, Tea Party Republicans were so upset with France, they refused to use the term French fries. This is true. They changed the name at the Capitol building cafeteria to Freedom Fries. And what about French toast?
And it needs to be a symbolic gesture. We in the nation's capital need to send a signal, and today you can have your toast, just make sure it's Freedom Toast.
Yep, Freedom Toast and Freedom Fries. But 2 decades later, our difference is long forgotten. We simply call them fries. Even McDonald's and Burger King skip the word French. But there's another use of the word that we can't eliminate. This was yesterday.
The U.S. has a new favorite dog breed. According to the American Kennel Club, French Bulldogs are now the most popular purebred dog.
Yes, the French Bulldog is now the most popular dog in America. French, not because it wears a beret and goes on strike all the time. It's French because in the 1800s, clothing designers from England would go to Paris with their miniature bulldogs, who would then hook up with the local terriers, ooh la la, and the result was the tiny squished-faced little bulldog with round eyes, perfect for cuddling. Their throaty bark, proof that Americans don't hate the French so much after all.
Jeff Kaplan's Minute of News, only on KSL News Radio.
As a roofer, I'm always on the go. So I need to be able to get things done from anywhere. That's why I partnered with Beacon. With their unique Beacon Pro Plus app, I've got the brands I depend on, like GAF, right at my fingertips 24/7. I rely on Beacon because I never stop building, and neither do they. Now through September 15th, purchase GAF through Beacon Pro Plus and earn up to $1,500. Go to BECN.com or download the Beacon Pro Plus app today. Beacon, always building.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? Starting trouble. No one likes that. We can get you set up for some stronger starts. You might just need a fresh charge, and we can take care of that free of charge. But if it is time for a new battery, we've got replacement batteries that'll fit your needs, starting at just $79.99. That's what makes us America's #1 battery destination.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
Common Spirit Health. Hospitals, clinics, and caregivers all connected to advance healthcare in Colorado, Kansas, and Utah. Healthcare with human kindness is here. Hello, human kindness.
KSL News Time, 7:45. The 3 things you need to know this hour. First,
search and rescue teams are doing a recovery mission on the Grantsville Reservoir after a swimmer was lost overnight. I'm KSL News Radio's Michael Kimmett.
Second, a new donut shop in Salt Lake is serving bright, colorful donuts made by formerly unhoused Utahns.
Third, it's traffic and weather together.
And right now, it's good if you're taking any of the freeways, I-15, 215, or I-80. A little bit heavy near Park City in the right lane going towards the Highway 40 turn for eastbound traffic on I-80, though. I'm Andy Farnsworth in the KSL Traffic Center.
Lots of sunshine today with isolated storms possible in the evening. I'm Matt Johnson.
That's a pretty morning. Right now, 72 degrees at the KSL Common Spirit Health Studios.
And time for our top national stories.
ABC News, I'm Sherry Preston. French train lines targeted ahead of the Olympics opening ceremony, which begins in a few hours. ABC's James Longman is in Paris.
Fires were set in signal boxes. Lines were cut on high-speed rail lines. It's even affected the Eurostar. That connects the UK with France. No word yet on who carried this out, but the intelligence services are involved in the investigation. It is clear this was an attempt to sabotage the opening ceremony of the Games tonight.
The weather may sabotage the opening ceremony as well. The weather forecast calls for about about 4 hours of rain in Paris. 2 leaders of the notorious Mexican Sinaloa drug cartel have been arrested and are facing prosecution in the U.S. for multiple counts of manufacturing and trafficking drugs and other crimes. Another government inflation measure showing signs of relief, excluding volatile food and energy prices. So-called core inflation rose just 0.2% from May to June. Presumptive Democratic presidential nominee Kamala Harris getting an endorsement from Barack Obama. This is ABC News.
It is a big day in Paris where the opening ceremony will begin in just about 4 hours for the 2024 Summer Olympics. My co-host Tim Hughes has been there all week long, and you're telling me, Tim, you have some information on the opening ceremonies?
I've been able to get a little bit out today. Now, we told you yesterday they're expecting a massive crowd, and actually it'll be about half of what it was planned for because they originally thought they could get 600,000 people down along the Seine, if you can imagine. It'll be 326,000 spectators, 80 massive screens along the route. Inez de la Catera, who is here for ABC, was telling us that she saw some acrobatics being done on lines that are tied to some of those bridges, so there's something else to watch for. Who's attending? Well, dignitaries from all over the world. You can expect that Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky is here, UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer, the German Chancellor Scholz, Italian President Mattarella, and the U.S. will be represented, we learned today, by Jill Biden, who will be here, the First Lady. We told you yesterday and actually played that great French song, Envie. Levy and Rose?
La Vie en Rose.
La Vie en Rose. And Lady Gaga and Celine are going to be singing that tonight. You can also expect to hear from a French singer a version of Imagine, which you will remember. And the national anthem is going to be sung from the top of the Grand Palace, if you can believe that.
Wow.
It's unfortunate that this forecast is calling for rain. Each of the 94 boats in the parade that will be carrying the athletes will be accompanied by police officers from France's counterterrorism unit. I'm sure they're going to be just out of camera shot, but another 45,000 police officers, 20,000 private security, 18,000 military personnel are on patrol around the city, and I can tell you I've never seen anything like it. And I've been to, 1, 2, 3, 4, this will be my 5th Olympic Games. So they're taking it very seriously here in Paris, and with what's happening outside of Paris in other places in France, you can tell why, Amanda. They kind of have a history of protest here. You might remember some of the video a year ago when Emmanuel Macron raised the age of retirement, remember, to 64? Mm-hmm. And there were protests in the streets with fires burning and police cars overturned for what seemed like months.
And now that we've heard of these arsons, affecting the high-speed rail there, I'm surprised if someone did this to sabotage the games. I'm surprised no one's coming forward to take responsibility for it.
It's kind of interesting, too. So they're calling them incendiary devices that were strategically placed inside control boxes on these high-speed rail lines coming in 4 different directions into Paris. So somebody knew what they were doing there, and they said it's a similar incendiary device to one that they found in another French city back in May when the Olympic torch was making its way through. So they're slowly but surely working through this with more investigative work, and I'm sure we're going to hear more as the days roll on here and the games get started.
We'll stay tuned. And, of course, if you missed our 3-hour special this week about Salt Lake City's 2034 games, you have one more chance to hear it this morning. Tune in starting in 10 minutes at 8 o'clock for Salt Lake City 2034, our past, present, and future. That's the In-Depth at 15 and 45.
In the meantime, let's check your drive. Traffic and weather together is brought to you by Sinclair's DinoPay app. Save up to 20 cents a gallon. How are we looking now, Andy?
Right now, Tim, I-15 got a little bit of a slowdown southbound. Highway Patrol's doing a slowdown because of a crash over on the left shoulder just after 7200 south, but before 90th south. So lanes aren't blocked by the crash. They're trying to move it from the left side to the right side, so they've just brought traffic to a slowdown in that stretch. Len?
Looking at a little bit of slowdown in Brigham City as you make your way over toward Sardine Canyon, right there at the intersection of 89 and 91. Otherwise, I-15 is in good shape all the way from Ogden down to downtown Salt Lake City. Just a smidgen of slowing just as you get toward the downtown area. Otherwise, looking good on Legacy Parkway. Jason?
It's been an excellent commute through Utah County this morning. It remains that way at this point if you're headed up towards the point of the mountain. No accidents or delays there. Also, no problems up the canyons, Parley's and Provo Canyon to head to the Wasatch back. Major feeders over to I-15 are looking good. And really no trouble on Foothill Drive right now either. Hey, Utah County, Jones Paint and Glass is opening a new location in Payson. Be sure to come to their grand opening celebration on July 27th from 8 to 5. I'm Jason Jones at the KSL Traffic Center.
And the 7-day forecast is brought to you by Performance Automotive. Bountiful Matt Johnson is here. We're just commiserating. It's good to see you, Matt.
We've got some wild weather potentially by this evening. Maybe I overspoke there. I mean, we are so blown out from staying up too late here. 95 is the high. We do have a slight chance for storms in the evening, so it could get wild. Partly cloudy, 94 with a slight chance in the mountains on Saturday. Sunday, 93, coolest of the next 7. Then we head into next week, high pressure rebuilds. We'll be upper 90s and even near 100 by Thursday, so heat will return.
So you're saying we should enjoy this 72 degrees while we can, huh?
Yes, sir.
All right, we'll keep an eye on that with that 30% chance of showers this afternoon. And we have one more look at money news coming up here in just a minute. Stay with us.
After 20 years of music in the mountains, concertgoers from all across our state and beyond have made some amazing memories at Utah Symphony's Deer Valley Music Festival, and we're inviting you to join us again this summer. Don't miss crowd favorites, patriotic pops, Disney in concert, Tchaikovsky's 1812 Overture, and the music of John Williams. Pack your picnics, bring your family and friends, and get ready for memorable summer evenings with the Utah Symphony, July 5th through August 9th in Park City. Tickets are on sale now at DeerValleyMusicFestival.org. The Utah Symphony's Deer Valley Music Festival showcases talented vocalists performing your favorite chart-topping songs with the full power of the symphony. You'll wish your recordings at home offered the same orchestration. Don't miss the music of Whitney Houston, the trailblazing music of Joni Mitchell, Carole King, and Carly Simon, Hamilton's Leslie Odom Jr., and Cody Fry, all with the Utah Symphony. July 5th through August 9th in Park City. Tickets are on sale now at DeerValleyMusicFestival.org.
Good morning. I'm the 25% off window company.
25% off?
It's our biggest discount ever.
So what happened to the 40% off you were offering a couple months ago?
Well,
nothing. It's baloney. Hi, this is Kathy.
The Doug of Window World. When you hear those things, you know you've entered the baloney zone.
Resist the force of the baloney zone.
Call today.
281-8111.
Window World. Simply the best for less. And that's no baloney.
Summer is the season of sun, fun, and freedom.
Oh, yeah.
And there's no better way to take advantage of every minute and every mile than with a low-rate auto loan from America First Credit Union. Plus, for a limited time, when you finance your new vehicle with America First, you can let your wallet enjoy some time off too, with no payments for 90 days. So make your summer move. Head to AmericaFirst.com to apply for pre-approval of your low-rate auto loan today. Eligibility, terms, conditions, and creditworthiness apply. Subject to change. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal Opportunity Lender.
Seriously, this is what my money is doing. Playing games? Right now, Nicole's money is remodeling her kitchen.
I don't know how to do that.
Nicole said it's easy. She just called America First Credit Union and got a fantastic rate on a home equity loan.
No!
I'm calling America First.
Get your money working. Visit AmericaFirst.com and get a 0.25% discount on our low-rate home equity loans. Subject to eligibility, terms, conditions, and property criteria. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal Housing Opportunity Lender.
Watching Utah's Money, brought to you by Trajan Wealth, your trusted local fiduciary advisors, TrajanWealth.com. Utah gas prices finally going in the right direction after a month of steady increases. AAA reports our average price for a gallon of regular unleaded is $3.57. That's not down much, but we'll take whatever we can get here. It's off about a half a cent.
A proposed merger between the parent company of Smith's and Albertsons is on hold. A Colorado judge issued an injunction ahead of a September trial. Several states have challenged the move, worrying it'll drive up prices. In a statement, Kroger says it would do the opposite.
Here's one to rank right up there with that half a cent savings at the pump. CrowdStrike, the company behind last week's massive Microsoft outage, is offering a kind of apology to vendors like Delta, who are still recovering from what happened. The apology is a $10 Uber Eats voucher, not for customers, Amanda. It's for the companies affected.
All righty then. The Dow right now is up. Look at this, Tim. The Dow is up 564. That's 1 4/10%. We're back at 40,498.
Wow.
The S&P's up 43. That's 0.8%. The Nasdaq up 100. That's 0.6%.
We'll take it, and we'll see if we can wrap up this morning drive. Kind of a short one today because of that Special Olympic coverage that's coming up at the top of the hour. We'll check traffic and weather next.
Friday is my shopping day, so I stop at NPS on the way home because I like to save 20 to 70% on everything. And Tim, I'm going to guess that most of our listeners would love to save 20 to 70% on everything too.
Yeah, and that's just the beginning. That's the base business model for NPS. But once you find out, or what you find out when you start to make regular visits to NPS, is that the savings are really bigger than that, because they take a look at what the retail price of these things are, all brand new, name brand items. They'll put them on the shelf, but when that next shipment of goodies comes in the next day, they need the shelf space, so they'll mark it down even more. Sometimes, well, we had a rack of dresses the last time we were there that were all $1.
They were $1. And they were gorgeous. I got one myself. And I'm just looking. You can go to npsstore.com if you want to see what this week's deals are. So at npsstore.com, I'm looking, and they've got cell phone accessories, an additional 40% off, an additional 60% off sandals, swimwear, shorts, hats, an additional 50% off all clothing and accessories.
Look, when your family is struggling to make ends meet, not just with food, but with everything else, and especially at back-to-school time, you can get school supplies, too. Make sure you stop by NPS and save some money today. There are 2 stores in Salt Lake City. The movie show is going to be there tomorrow. 1 store in Orem, 1 store in Layton.
When it's hot like this, air conditioners struggle to keep up. Parts are under more stress, and sometimes those parts fail. What's up, everybody? I'm Mike Wilson with Any Hour Services, and no one helps more homeowners maintain and repair their air conditioners than Any Hour Services. As a matter of fact, last year, over 32,000 homeowners called Any Hour Services for help maintaining and repairing their systems. Any Hour Services has over 100 HVAC technicians to help with everything from maintenance, repair, to installing a new system. This summer, there'll be a lot of people told they need to replace their air conditioner, and they'll wonder, do I really need to? If you're told you need to replace your air conditioner and you still have questions, Any Hour Services can give you a second opinion and let you know what options are available. Maybe it just needs a little maintenance or a small repair. Maybe it does need to be replaced, but if you don't feel good about being told you need to replace your air conditioner, don't ignore those feelings. Call Any Hour Services for help with air conditioner maintenance, repair, or to schedule a free second opinion. Google Any Hour Services or schedule online at anyhourservices.com. No one helps more homeowners than Any Hour Services.
Now that Utah has scored the 2034 games,
we're back, baby. The Olympics are coming back to Utah. Thank you.
Congratulations. The Paris Olympics seem a little closer to home.
Dozens of Olympic athletes have ties to Utah.
Get full coverage on the 33rd Summer Olympiad, mornings and afternoons. Paris 2024 on KSL News Radio.
Traffic and weather together, brought to you by Sinclair's Dino Pay app. Save up to 20 cents per gallon. And back to you, Andy.
Well, Amanda, crews moved a crash from the left to the right side on southbound 15 just before 90 South Sandy's exit. But we still got slowdowns right now that go all the way back to 7200 South. So you're going to see southbound delay on a Friday morning going through Midvale, not the northbound side where we normally would. Don't see any 215 slowdowns at this time either. Len?
If you're in Weber and Davis counties, I-84 heading up the canyon there. It's looking pretty good out to Mountain Green, taking Trappers Loop up there, a little bit of slow in the curves, making your way up to Pine View Reservoir in Huntsville and Snow Basin. Going to do a little bit of mountain biking up there. I-15 in good shape, though, all the way from Ogden to downtown Salt Lake City. Jason?
It's been a picture-perfect commute this morning in Utah County. We got no problems right now on I-15. Running 70-plus miles an hour up to the point of the mountain. Major feeders over to I-15 also still looking really good. Choose a gorgeous new countertop for your kitchen or bath at the Bedrock Quartz Stone Sale with selected choices at up to 50% off in July. Visit one of 7 showrooms today or bedrockquartz.com. I'm Jason Jones in the KSL Traffic Center.
By the way, the movie show's today, not tomorrow. That's going to do it from Paris. I can't tell you, Amanda, I said it earlier this week. I just wish all of you could have been here. What a week.
It's been beautiful hearing you, Tim. Have a safe trip home, and we'll see you back here in the studio on Monday.
Au revoir.
KSL-FM Midvale.
KSL Salt Lake City.
From the KSL Common Spirit Health Studios, this is KSL News Radio.
Utah's news, traffic, and weather